Alright, we're on. Okay, welcome everyone to the April 8th, 2026 Conservation Commission meeting. Our chair, Mike, is feeling a little under the weather, so he's joining us online and going to run the meeting. So I will open it in accordance with the open meeting law, and we'll start with our first scheduled hearing. A continuation of a notice of intent for Blackstone Street alteration BW and some of the buffer zone. Lee Trozy is the applicant. Also, please feel free to speak up if you can't hear me. I'm a little quiet.
It is a little difficult.
I'll try.
It's great.
I know, I meant to buy one, but.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Last time we met, the commissioner requested a whole series of information on various things. I'll try to hit on the major points. One of the major points at that time was the installation of an amphibian tunnel to allow for habitat to cross underneath the road rather than over the road. So we made a couple of revisions on this for the benefit of the board. This is sheet C5 that has been revised as part of the plan. And what we've done in this plan is a couple of things. One is the location that was preferred from Goddard and other research that we've done, put the amphibian tunnel, is this west?
Yeah, west of the.
West of the proposed culvert or where the flow is. And at that time, we had a turnaround there. Our staging area was in that location. So we've got rid of the turnaround in that location and shifted everything further down so that this tunnel will not be impacting any future construction or development of lot 3 down the road. It's probably the most conducive location for habitat to cross underneath the roadway, given that they'll still have this box culvert to cross as well. The one that we're proposing, the what is that, a 10-foot wide, 2-foot by 10-foot culvert. You know, so this here is going to be at what is the existing elevation of the roadway. This tunnel here is a little bit lower, is that correct? In elevation so that they can walk through it?
Yeah, so it's basically a grade level. We can't push it any further east. We looked at that. That's when we showed that concept a number of meetings ago, the very rough concept. Engineering wise, that didn't work because that would have basically created a secondary drainage from that vernal pool at a certain elevation. It would have just passed through that. So we had to shift the culvert to the west so that it always is dry. So that's the reason for that.
And it looks like you made it larger. It looks like it's 2 by 3.
It is a 2 by 3, so we made it a little bit bigger.
And of course, this is an open box culvert, so that the, you know, the underbelly of the culvert is existing ground, or will have contour to it, similar to the existing grade. So what that did was, as I said, eliminated our turnaround that was in this area here, and and had made some comments regarding, you know, impacts. But now that has been moved out of the commission's jurisdiction, so that it's not going to impact any kind of disturbance. Currently, I mean, it will eventually lot 3 will have to come back to the commission if the work is within the buffer zone. Other than that, this is the replication area that we've previously shown. Purple is the wetland impact. We did at the last meeting discuss alternatives. I can go over them briefly. And we did submit quite a bit of information on the benefit of the amphibian tunnel. It's commonly used to allow different types of habitat, animals to cross under roadways. Keeping in mind that we will also have a Cape Cod berm along the stretch of roadway as well. That will allow any animals that get on the roadway to not get trapped by a vertical structure. We did, again, I think, there was some question about the alternatives. I'll just briefly go back to what the alternative would be if we weren't gonna use the existing roadway. Keeping in mind that this roadway will never go away, it's always gonna be there, so. But as you can see, as we presented previously, the significantly more impacts than making use of the existing roadway. The other thing that was requested was us to show access from, Bellingham Road. So that's what this looks like, Bellingham Road. So what I have shaded in here is Blackstone Street to Bellingham Road in Blackstone, and this portion of Blackstone Street, the purple or the pink is the 100-foot buffer zone. So I can do that outside of jurisdiction, I guess you'd call it, but the roadway would still be there. I don't think it solves any problems or makes things better, given the situation that's there. Again, the premise behind this whole proposal is to improve the conditions out there to construct a roadway that's to planning board standards and allow safe and adequate access to the various lots that are proposed, as well as what happens future with the development of the property, which is a couple of 100 acres. So this really, even though we can do this, I think it opens up a lot of issues with neighbors who live on a dead-end street in Blackstone, and it doesn't solve the problems of what you have going on here, where excessive erosion. We talked about a little bit about snow and salinization and all of that stuff. Well, that's what happens today. Everything that flows down Blackstone Street goes uncontrolled into these wetlands. We're gonna solve that problem by intercepting that water and putting it into our detention basin. That we're intercepting that water here and we're putting it into this area here, into our detention basin. So it's not gonna be flowing down this dirt road anymore. It's gonna be captured with the stormwater structures that we have that are installed. And similarly to everything else, that is the reason why the stormwater features are included, best management practices are that, and runs, the water within the roadway stays in the roadway, gets captured by the structures and gets directed towards the stormwater basins that have been designed as infiltration basins. So this solves quite a bit of problems on both sides of this area that is the commission is most concerned about. So I think overall, what we proposed is the best, highest and best, most practical alternative for this particular stretch of roadway within those areas. I just want to point out a couple of things regarding what we are charged with in terms of access, because this is a roadway that's been approved under the approval not required by the planning board. We just need to provide what's called adequate access to the lots, to the frontage of the lots. There is a requirement for us to do some stormwater management. Our access is 20 feet. That's what's considered adequate access. So we can do that right now without really filling anything. I mean, the roadway that's there right now needs to be trimmed a little bit, but we have 20 feet to go by this roadway right now. We could pave it, and as the peer reviewer has already indicated, that we are exempt to put our utilities in there right now. It's an exempt use. So, but I think this overall is long-term the best alternative for both mitigating existing conditions and improving long-term conditions, so that you don't have the condition of impacting the vernal pool or the wetlands. So there are other things that I think if the commission has things questions related to the scientific or the other aspects of the information that we've submitted. We did submit Natural Heritage's letter. We did submit stormwater calculations, even though peer review is not reviewing stormwater for the commission. We did submit that information that addresses its comments. What else did we submit, Hannah?
There's a lot.
I mean, the big thing was,
Information. I mean, there was still some outstanding things that we've talked about, and you didn't submit a response to the most recent peer review letter.
well, again, his letter was primarily the issues were related to stormwater. And so those issues were not really here to discuss stormwater.
Right, so
But
the whole end section though.
well, we did request, I did provide what I thought was identifying the waivers that we're looking for or that are applicable. What else is on your list? I think we went one by one, that we did everything.
Well, so in terms of the waiver request, you just listed the 5
Yeah.
places
well,
in the
what else-
regulations
what-
where they occur, but not what you're actually requesting.
Well, it's
For the
what we're requesting is what's shown on the plan, and the regulations that apply to that are on the plan. It's kind of like, do I have to explain what's on the plan, or does this plan speak for itself?
I think you have to explain it. I think that's what we've been making clear. Hannah put that in her email earlier, back on the 23rd, I think, and it was reinforced just a couple days ago. There were 4 outstanding points, one of which was one you just mentioned about the Beal and Thomas peer reviewer clearly stated, we recommend that the applicant clearly lists each individual waiver requested along with how each request meets the granting criteria. It's not a look at the plan and figure it out. It's we want it explicitly stated, each one of the waivers that you're requesting. And that has been asked for a couple of times.
Yeah, I understand. We keep submitting information because what we think is what is being requested. And obviously, where there's a breakdown in the communication here, but when we read your regulations and the regulations call for certain things, we provided what is in your regulations. We provided justification in a legal format that justifies why we're entitled to a waiver. Now, I don't know what else we can provide. You don't even have a requirement, but you have a provision in your bylaws where the commission needs to decide whether or not a buffer zone is required. Then the applicant has the obligation to provide data or information why there's 3 or 4 criteria in the bylaw or in the regulations that allows for reasons why we're entitled to the waiver if a waiver was determined to be necessary. So I think we presented that information is what I'm trying to say.
Whether or not prevented it or provided it.
Excuse me?
Did you say prevented, Lou, or provided?
No, we provided it. We provided it.
Yeah, so I think what we're saying, and Hannah has said a couple of times is, and Hannah, speak up if please, and let me know if not the case, that when talking about the waiver requests, we don't want to have to, you can refer to the plans certainly, but having us to go look at the plans and figure out which of the 5 or however many it is, requests pertains to which section of which plans is not satisfactory to us. So if you want us to be able to proceed with deciding whether a waiver is valid or not, you have to provide enough information in whatever way we're asking for it so that we can help do our due diligence and make sure that we understand it clearly enough to make a decision. And so
Okay.
if it's a lack of communication, and you think you've been submitting the information in good faith that we wanted, then what I think we need to do right now is identify what it is that you don't understand about the information request. Let's say this particular one about the waivers of the 4 that are still outstanding for information that we've asked for. And what additional clarification do you need to in order to be able to respond in the way that we're looking for?
Okay, so let's take a look at the waiver requirement. So the way your regulation is written, the commission has the discretion to determine whether or not a waiver is required.
And we're saying we don't understand what you're asking for a waiver for yet, because you
Well,
haven't made it
It's
explicit.
a waiver from the 50-foot buffer from the vernal pool. Let's talk about that one.
Give you an example.
Excuse me?
Do you want me to give you an example?
Give me an example, yes.
You can say in your waiver request that you're requesting a waiver because without the waiver, the project wouldn't be possible.
Right, well, we did that. It's a hardship. It's, you have, this is the previous memo, which was 7 or 8 pages long that Fields and Thomas clearly didn't read. Identified, we went through your regulations point by point regarding the 3 or 4 criteria that are determinative of whether or not we as the applicant are entitled to a waiver. Those have to do with hardship, as you're suggesting, costs, existing conditions. I mean, I don't have it in front of me, but
Lou, those are reasons for that you want to give us for getting the waiver. But what we're saying is, and I think Beal and Thomas is saying, you need to explicitly say, I want a waiver for this thing, and put it in words. Don't just hope that we find on the plan. For this particular thing, I want a waiver to be within 25 feet of a vernal pool, and then go into your reasons and rationales. But what we're not getting is that starting point with, this is a waiver number 1, this is waiver number 2, in in written form, and then backed up by your comments as you put it there that you provided earlier with, references to bylaws or other regulations that you feel are pertinent to getting the waiver.
I think, well, in my opinion, I mean, our attorney drafted it, so in our opinion, that is what we presented. You're asking us to regurgitate that to a point where we want to identify, okay, waiver 1, we're within X number of feet of a vernal pool.
Lou, can I clarify?
Yeah, clarify, because I'm totally
Because
lost there.
going point by point, I think a lot of the information you've provided is the waiver for putting the road within 50 feet of the vernal pool. So a lot of the supporting information has been dedicated towards that.
Right.
But you're not just, that's not the only waiver that you're requesting that.
What other waiver are we
You're also
referring to?
requesting to put, that's a new thing that you requested to move the stormwater basin into the no-touch 25-foot disturbed zone. as well.
It's a temporary disturbance is what we,
No, that one.
this one here, temporary
Right.
disturbance.
Right, so
This is the 25, this is the
25-foot is a
25.
no disturbance zone.
No, you gotta read your regulations.
Lou, I have read them, but I'm just saying, so that's
She's
the
way over.
instance where that's the 25-foot that we're looking at, and that's not something that you've provided additional information or the request for that waiver, or in the case of the trees, because we've gone over that multiple
You're
times.
going too fast, you're going too fast, you're going too fast. Let's talk
I didn't
about
want to
this.
get interrupted,
Let's-
but I had to get it out.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. We did present a planting plan. I mean, I don't know, quite honestly, I don't know whether or not looking at the information that we're providing, but
The information.
Goddard has presented a planting plan, a restoration plan for this area that is being disturbed within 25 foot. If we don't need to do that, if you don't want us to do the grading that's necessary for the detention basin, then we won't do it. But I mean, we think what we're doing is better than what's the existing condition. So
Lou, but
I think we're just asking you to outline what you're asking for. That's all. Like,
in the case of the
outline what you want the
25-foot,
waiver for. It has to be in writing, legally has to be in writing.
again,
That's all. That's all. It doesn't have to be a big crazy thing.
okay, like I said, what we provided, we were under the impression that what we provided met the regulations and the intent of the regulation. So we'll take another look at it. We've identified the 3 or 4 areas that require a waiver. Some of them are just the commission's right to grant the waiver. So there is no dialogue or there's no justification for it. It's a request. The commission has the discretion to grant a waiver from any of the regulations that are in the wetland, under your bylaw. So if you're asking us why we need to be there, or why we need to cross the well, or why we need to be closer than 50 feet to, the vernal pool, I think we've described that. If you want us
Have you
to,
described it in writing?
yeah, of course we have. It's an existing, I mean, you gotta read the narrative. I mean,
Lou,
we'll
like
take
I
care
was
of it.
saying, I think a lot of it was for in support of putting the road within the 50 foot, and that's what all the alternatives analysis were mostly for, but you're not just requesting that one waiver.
Okay,
That
so.
was, that's
I
what,
mean,
that's
so-
what I'm clear.
So what you're, I understand now what you're saying.
Yeah,
As far as this area goes.
yep,
We consider that, okay. So I don't consider that a waiver. I consider that a temporary disturbance, which is
right, so we have.
within the commission's discretion.
No disturbance, and then the 50 foot temporary disturbance, so they are two different zones. So that's, once it gets moved into the 25 foot, that's.
I'll reread it, but I don't know that.
Yeah, that's, I mean, we've done a lot of projects where you're,
I understand,
that's what's-
it's, I'll re-look at it, I'll revisit it, and we'll get a narrative that you feel like it explains it a little bit better than what we were
and I think
previously
it would
done.
just be helpful if you can point by point respond to the points that Beals and Thomas made. Like a normal.
The Bill and Thomas didn't
response.
specifically say anything, they just said we should go and identify it more specifically, basically.
Yes,
So
exactly.
I thought I did in this last go around, and I thought I did it in the first go around, but Ryan and I will get together on it and we'll go through it and we'll give you a nice presentation on the waivers.
Yeah,
So-
we'll
It doesn't need
provide,
to be this long, like.
yeah, we'll provide a written response and written detailed sort of waiver request,
Right.
listen and all that stuff. Look, we can do that.
So other than that, I mean, if the commission has any, the
I
major,
have four
Major po-
questions.
excuse me,
I have four questions.
Go ahead.
Are you Ryan Rosen?
Yes.
So I'm gonna hammer through the four of them, quick, because you can probably consolidate your answer. In reading through your design information, you mentioned best location is with established migration routes. Do we have that information now? A moment ago, you highlighted that you had to move it because of drainage. I see that. So that's one. The other is, can you go into the semi-permanent drift fencing and what that would look like? Or what would the neighbors see with that there? And then we're gonna go into the maintenance. Lou, who's gonna own the road when you're
well,
done?
right now it's private way,
So
so,
when you're done,
well, I don't know whether or not, I think it would be the homeowners who live on the roadway will have a homeowners association, they'll be responsible for maintaining it.
so they'll have to maintain the tunnel. And the bigger question is the salt, you highlight the salt in your language, that could just wreck the whole thing. How are we gonna control that?
What salty, well, as I said earlier, that, this stormwater management system is designed to capture all the water, so that whatever you're referring to as road salt.
Ice salt.
Yeah, road salt, that's all captured in the roads, in the roadway and in the infrastructure, and it's directed away from wetlands to a detention basin. So what's happening now is all your road salt that's on Blackstone Street, Matty's Way, that doesn't get captured by their stormwater basin up here, all comes down here and down there. So you already have a problem there. We're trying to correct it by intercepting it and putting it into our detention basin.
Yeah, I can,
I'm gonna let you go through the answers. in
Okay.
order, and I'll comment on the salt
yeah.
again after.
okay, I can start with the salt thing. So yeah, so in our response or kind of maintenance management considerations, yeah, chloride based, products, salt, different types. I think I mentioned sodium chloride, which is just rock salt, calcium, magnesium chloride, potassium chloride. Those have been shown in some studies to negatively affect amphibians and water bodies. So the other option to use is acetate-based materials such as calcium, magnesium acetate, potassium acetate, sodium acetate. These are more environmentally friendly, less risk of impact to amphibians and to water bodies and.
Understand, my question more pointedly, and I guess would shift to Lou. Who's gonna control that? Is that a town requirement? Are they taking the road? They'll have to buy special salt for this area or the homeowners association?
Well, first of all, if the commission decides that it wants to condition like in other places, a no salt area or, then that could be a
That would
condition.
probably be the direction we go.
But as far as a maintenance, part of our stormwater management requirement is to have an operation and maintenance plan that goes along with it. It requires cleaning catch basins 4 times a year or 3 times a year and dealing with other
I'll
things.
ask Ryan to move on to the other questions, because
Sure.
that somewhat answers it, trying to move this forward here.
Yeah, so let me just, so. Remind me of your first question again?
You note that these work best.
Oh, yeah, the
in
migratory.
Established migration routes.
Yes,
Do
so,
Do they even exist in that area?
well, so we're unsure of that. So generally, yes, you put them on established migratory pathways. Because this whole site is basically forested and especially the upland forest surrounds a lot of the vernal pool. There's likely amphibians coming from
Everywhere.
all sides and
Okay.
there's not a distinct migratory pathway. And we don't have
It's
that.
probably a migration route, one end to the
All,
other.
yeah, all around, basically everywhere except for where the wetland is, because they're gonna be in the uplands. You might have a few traveling through the wetlands to get into the vernal pool. The most are in the uplands and they just go straight into the vernal pool. Typically you need to do a full-on study.
So when you say uplands, I'm thinking they're north of this
Mhm.
vernal pool.
To go that way.
Uplands are-
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so the vernal pool is here. I mean, there's uplands, this is all uplands
I
over
understand.
here, and up on the north as well. And even some a little bit on the east side. So typically you would have to do a full migration study, but drift fencing up, have pitfall traps. And you do that during the spring migration time to see where amphibians are coming into. They'll hit the fence and then drop into a bucket. That way you'll be able to tell where they're coming from. We weren't gonna do that. It's a pretty extensive and intensive process. So what we did is, so you have the wetland here, so we know they're not gonna be over here traveling through the wetland. You have the vernal pool and you have a lot of upland right here.
Yep.
So we chose this location here to generally act as a pathway for them.
Now, those are gonna be house lots though, at some point.
Yeah, well, but 2 acres. It's not like a small postage stamp of a lot. You get 2 acres.
Plus this lot 3 here has buffer zones, so there's probably more limited clearing than would be allowed in one that doesn't have any restriction.
I see them.
So that is another reason why we chose that, because we figured more forest would be preserved, down the line. And then we did propose semi-permanent drift fencing. There's a company called Animex. I think there was a detail on the sheet.
Yeah, on the other sheet.
On the
that was
other-
submitted.
Yes, on the one that was submitted, there's a detail of that fencing. It's about I think it's 40 inches tall. It's made out of a hard plastic. You bury it and then it sticks up above, and then shown on the plan, we have it on the south side here. It basically goes from this eastern wind wall over to the retaining wall just north of the wetland replication area. And then off the western wind wall, it comes out and kind of follows the forested forest patch here. So
What's the timeframe of semi-permanent?
So semi-permanent, they're meant to stay around for, I think the company says 10 to 25 years is what they call semi-permanent. It's just that they're not like, they have,
They
Yeah.
don't.
Right.
So
Yeah.
someone has to take it down at some point or maintain it.
yeah, I mean, generally they shouldn't really have much maintenance unless like a tree falls on it or something like that, but if they're installed properly, you really shouldn't have to maintain it.
But this fencing will be predominantly within lot 3.
Yes,
Yeah, how tall are they? How tall? I don't.
so sticking above the ground, I forget exactly what the
Couple of feet.
yeah, it's like 2.5 feet or something, and you can also have an anti-dig lip, so you can fold the bottom piece that's underground so that nothing can dig underneath it, and then you have a anti-climb lip, so it basically creates a little like U shape at the top, so. But we wouldn't really be concerned with spotted salamanders and wood frogs, they don't climb slick surfaces like that.
So the homeowner will not be expected to have this fence in their property for 10 to 25 years.
Well, I would say, if it's a homeowners association, we will have regulations in the bylaws. And that would be a homeowners association responsibility, just like the detention basins would likely be too.
Including no removing it
Yeah, exactly.
within the time frame.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So, it's,
Another
I'm not a
condition.
I'm not a big fan of detention basins that don't get maintained. A lot of towns don't do it, and I usually create a homeowners association that deals with cutting and clearing and keeping them nice and neat.
All right, that wraps up my questions. Thank you.
Any other questions from the commission?
I appreciate, just to make a comment on, I appreciate you listening to what we had asked for at the last meeting and proposing modifications to it, pretty significant.
Yeah,
So, I appreciate that.
we're trying to improve the conditions as best we can without, and still have a project as we've been talking about, so. The roadway's there, it's been there for a long, long time, and we think we can improve the situation by capturing the stormwater from both directions that ultimately ends up in this location because it's the lowest spot in the roadway. And unfortunately, for us, there's a lot of surface runoff that's coming off of Blackstone Street, and I don't know if you folks have ever been up there during a rainstorm.
I was there 2 days ago. And
It's like a river.
I was reaching over the top of the
Right.
road.
And it flows right down the middle of Blackstone, the existing gravel road. I had photographs, from years back. It was originally supposed to go in that swale that never got taken care of when the town took their possession of that open space. So we think we're improving a situation that's not very favorable right now.
Any questions from members of the public? So could you reiterate the requirements for next meeting, answering the questions, peer review and things like that? Sure. So.
Yeah, so response to Beals and Thomas's most recent peer review letter, additional information on vegetation. And we included additional information on vegetation. 10-inch caliper trees.
It should be another waiver then, I guess.
I told you, you didn't have them all in there. Additional information regarding the alternative using Bellingham Road. I don't know if that's are you guys still looking for additional information? Or are you happy with what was presented today? So that was.
Ideally, I'd like to see like the rest of the project on the plan with just whatever activity you don't need to do through access from the Bellingham side taken off, but.
I'd like to be in a position where I could show you what we're gonna do with the rest of the land. All I can show you is what was previously proposed in 2014. And I can show you the road network. It's 200 some odd acres, so there's, it's a big parcel of land, and you're gonna get quite a few lots, and zoning and other things are considerations, and subdivision are considerations. So we really don't have any idea other than what was previously proposed
So how
as
would
a
you-
subdivision there. So we're taking this piece by piece because it gives us an opportunity to study it in smaller components. And that's how we're pretty much doing it. So we do have an opportunity, we previously submitted a preliminary subdivision plan for our access off of North Street. So that's, sort of like working from both ends, and eventually dealing with the middle. And it's just like, I can't really tell you. All I can say is that from the meetings that we've had is that people are concerned on Bellingham Road about having this as a through street, and that's why we initially had proposed it as a cul-de-sac. Now, if somebody comes along, anyone from the town of Bellingham and says, hey, we want this to be open, I have the right to do it. I have access, I have the rights, I have the right to do it. It's part of my project. I even own 9 acres in Bellingham, or I mean, in Blackstone. I have 9 acres on the other side of the town line. So I think, happy to do it. To be honest with you, I don't really, doesn't matter, but it's gonna create a tremendous stir of, neighborhood anger.
I mean, I figured it would just be like you zoom out the CAD plan a little and chop some side off. And
Say that again?
you just zoom out on the CAD plan a little, or like move the viewport over here, and then you just cut that side off. And or like,
Unfortunately, we don't have any other access other than this right of way. We don't have any other access from that end other than this roadway. So, when you get to a certain point where the road or the development becomes a certain size, you need multiple access points. We have one on North Street. We have one on Blackstone Street. And we may need the one in on Bellingham Road. We may need that ultimately, but at this point in time, we're not proposing that, and we need more time to study what ultimately gets developed there. There are opportunities if the town, when we get to that point with a new planner or whatever, there are opportunities to do other things that are more open space related. If that opportunity comes up and it, we're happy to talk about it. But I think for the time being, no matter what project gets within the rest of the land, we still are going to have access onto Blackstone Street. There's no way around it. It's like, all of the rest of the property is, sort of, closed in with residences and other, you got, Lake Hiawatha on one side, and you got the residents on along that roadway, and you have Blackstone Street. Those are the boundaries. So there aren't a lot of options relative to that scenario, so,
I think really good point. So when will you have the rest of the stuff to us?
well, I think what we're talking about is another thing on waivers. And what else did you want? A response to the
It's
Beals and
mostly,
Thomas?
it's mostly waivers, yes, it's the response to Beals and Thomas stuff, 10-inch caliper trees, because that wasn't included in anything.
Right.
And then please submit information outlining the waiver request, which is something that Beals and
Right,
Thomas
so we
asked
can-
for. So those
I'll
were
put
the
that
main.
this weekend and guys next week. And then Ryan, what did you want from Ryan? Did you want some other clarification from Ryan on anything? The tunnel, anything? I mean,
Do we have the detail showing the street, like not the side profile, but a detail showing kind of how it will be laid out, where the curving will be,
the tunnel? Plus,
the street in general in that
Yeah, we
area?
saw that. Did we see that on the drawing?
yeah, well, there's
Yeah,
multiple
there's-
sheets here. We just brought
yeah.
the sheet that shows you the most detail. In terms of the grading, as you can see, this is what I was trying to explain. The grade of the road from this end goes down. The grade from this end goes down, and this is the low spot. So everything that, when it rains, all of this water goes down into this location. There's no way to avoid it. All we can do is capture everything. Excuse me?
Referring to the proposed conditions for the road.
That's,
Detail-
these are existing conditions.
Yeah.
Where these are existing conditions that the proposed conditions is a solid line. The existing condition is this dashed line. See this dashed line here? That's the existing grade of the roadway. We are simply mirroring the grade. Nothing's changed. We're not introducing any more grade to the property than is currently existing there today.
Is it not a buildup, Lou? I thought there was a.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, I'm looking
There's a
for
little
it.
bit, there's a little bit here, but I mean, part of what we have to do here, it doesn't change
You're adding about 6 feet in the middle.
over here. Yeah,
Right where your finger is.
So like, this is what I'm talking about, like, you see how I think you sent us this document?
Yeah, I
see something like that.
Well, that's deals with just this right here,
Yeah, I want to see
Okay.
like maybe a cross section of that.
okay? So this here, the reason why this is getting raised in the middle is for the culvert. With, because we're putting a culvert on top of the existing grade to keep the invert of the vernal pool at the same level that it's at when it's highest. We have to raise that roadway and we have to build a retaining wall on either side in order to make that happen. And what happened, you have to have utilities go underneath it and over it. And so that's why this area gets raised up in this particular location. To accommodate those structures. But it doesn't take away from what's there now. It only makes it better when we put the structures in. Right now, if you go there, you can drive up and down the roadway without uninhibited.
Ryan, you said there was a detail on this fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a little block. I should have, we asked him to put it, but he was running out of room on the plan. The plan that I submitted, there's a little block on the right.
It's all right, just give me a verbal. You said it's like a plastic, what
Yeah,
color is it?
I think they're typically black. I don't know if they come in any other color besides black, but yeah, it's a hard plastic. It's comes in a roll that you just unroll. It's flat, straight, and then you just bury it 6 to 8 inches below ground, and then I think 28 or 30 inches sticks above
And
ground.
what are
How does it hold up?
the support stakes?
Yeah, how does it hold up? It's like a silt fence, right, basically?
There might be stakes associated with, I forget off the top of my head.
We'll get to that detail.
Yeah, I can look at that, but
Just if they're staked in.
Oh, it's gotta stand up somehow.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
Driven. Essentially driven into.
Yeah, but it's unrolled, so it's,
Yeah,
it has no
gotta have a-
physical support of its own.
Have a stake to it, some sort of support.
Them where they're literally driven in about 2.5, 3 feet and they just stay.
There would be a rigid sheet.
No, this was a roll.
Semi.
Huh?
Semi.
Semi-rigid.
No, it's
No,
not
it looks
permanent.
like they can get us a detail.
yeah, we'll get you that information.
Assuming there's no other
Well, actually,
discussion,
right over there.
I will entertain a motion to continue to the evening of April 22nd, 2026.
Moved. Second.
Discussion, last chance. Yeah, do I have to do roll call? since
Yes,
my-
you do, because 2 of us are online.
Can I just ask one question before you do that?
Mhm.
So on the, when we do the detail on the migration tunnel that you wanted wing walls, and do you want that on a plan, or is it all right to do a cut sheet of some sort?
Cut sheet.
Similar, cut sheets, okay,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Nicole,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Right,
Aye.
all right, Mike,
Mike, I.
aye.
Right.
Pam. Oh, where's Pam?
Pam's there.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
I didn't see your
P
name.
for Pam.
Okay.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous vote. Sorry, Pam, you're so quiet.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, moving on to our next hearing, a continuation of a hearing for notice of intent, Lakeview Ave, map 65, lot 17, construction of a single-family home within the buffer zone to DPW. Quarry Development LLC is the applicant, and Seth LaJoy is the resident.
Request continuation on that, please.
You showed up to request one? Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll see you at the next one. To the 22nd?
Sure.
I'll entertain a motion to continue this hearing to the evening of April 22nd, 2026.
Seconded.
Discussion?
No.
Alright. Start with Pam. Sam, don't forget it. Pam, yay or nay?
You're on mute.
Sure.
Okay, I'll come back to you.
can see
Sorry,
you.
guys. I said aye. Yay.
Oh, okay. Mike,
Mike, yes.
what?
Yes, I,
Yeah.
yeah.
Steve,
Yes, yes, aye.
What's wrong with that?
James, Nicole,
Aye.
Don,
Aye.
Ariane, I.
Aye.
Next, here,
On board.
another continuation of a hearing for 41 Mansion Street and Harpin Street, map 86, lot 42, replacement of residential septic system and backfilling pool on town property. Applicant is Cyclops Realty and the representative is Seth Jewell.
Good evening. So, there were some outstanding questions that the commission had regarding the pool that is gonna be removed from town property, I believe, that was really the outstanding issue last time. I put together a narrative that was basically a construction sequencing narrative, on, crushing, removing the liner, getting rid of it, crushing the pool to 6 inch minus, removing rebar, et cetera, et cetera. What I'd like to point out on that narrative is basically none of it matters. It really comes down to the demolition permit that's gonna be issued by Tim. And there's been some back and forth with him in terms of what he is gonna permit in terms of using the concrete to backfill the hole, and things of that nature. So I mean, it's really, it ultimately, I could write the great American novel on backfilling a giant hole, but it really doesn't matter. It doesn't come down to, I'm not making that determination. It's gonna be the demolition permit.
So that's what the common fill referred to.
Oh, well, common fill is basically just, the sort of fill that you'd use for, the breakout on a Title V system. So it's kind of like, it's like excavated, like basal till.
Yep.
Like you wouldn't use that under the septic system or anything like that, but it's
Okay.
fine to use for purposes, for these purposes, because it drains well enough and it's basically just filling up void space. So
You know how old the pool is?
we believe it was constructed sometime in the 70s or 80s, but I don't know. I'm just basing that on the nature of the pool having a diving board and things like that.
Years old.
48.
Old by the old man.
Yeah.
So that'd be 1980-ish,
Oh.
78. So 70s, 80s.
Asbestos? Oh, yeah, that's past asbestos, right?
So I did draft some special condition, like, I mean, obviously, depending on what you guys want to see in it, if you're okay with just leaving it to, demolish based on the building permit, if that's fine to leave as a condition, we can do that. It's kind of up to you guys. I did put a draft thing for special conditions in there, if you want to take a look at it.
Can you guys talk louder?
So put a draft special condition in the folder for you guys to take a look at that includes.
You did or you will?
I did.
No, she
I
did.
just
It's-
did that. I just did that today based on, because I've been talking to Tim about it and it's
We're all
based
kind
on
of
the
in
buil-
agreement.
it's just based on the demolition permit, because I was like, I know that this,
What time did you do that? So
later this afternoon.
41 minutes, right?
Hmm.
Okay,
Actually. Sorry.
Yes, the address. It was right.
Oh, okay.
Right? Same, no.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just kind of the general conditions that we usually have, so having erosion controls in there. Document included in construction contracts and subcontracts. No, use petroleum for maintenance would be done. Collected and disposed of off-site, no on-site disposal of those items allowed. Order of conditions shall apply to any successor in interest or successor in control of the property. All excavated materials should be stored on the upland side as far from the siltation control as possible. Pool materials removed in accordance with applicable regulations and methodology subject to a demolition permit from the building department. The one thing that I had that was different from the plan that they submitted was that the seed stock that should go on there should be to restore disturbed areas, should complement or contain native flora, be proven of value to local wildlife. Applicant and subsequent owners are notified that the area beyond the property line is designated as a no disturb zone. After issuance of the certificate of compliance, an ongoing condition will be maintenance of this area as a no disturb zone, construction of sheds, swimming pools, play sets, any other structures, cutting of brush, mowing of rakish vegetation, dumping of yard waste is prohibited. The proposed fencing along the property line shall serve as the demarcated limit of this no disturbance zone. Upon completion of the proposed septic work, any disturbed areas shall be stabilized with a seed mix, including if necessary within the temporary access through 70 Archer Street.
Can I ask a question in
Yeah.
both those last two?
Yep.
First, with the proposed fencing along the property line,
Yeah.
was that already put on a drawing? I don't recall seeing that before, and would we have placards on it?
Yeah, I think so. I think there was a note
There
in there
is,
that they
yeah.
have,
It-
so they're just gonna replace the
It
fence.
is.
It's not like a,
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, it's part, it was part of the original plan.
And then do we need, and I can't recall because they blend together, but the access, the temporary access through 70 Archer, do we have like a letter or something from them stating that they?
Yep, so
grant
we
it? I
got
want
a-
to put a condition and then not.
yes, yeah, the WPA Form 3, we got
We did,
the
okay,
signature.
okay, so,
Yep.
so go on, thank you.
Yeah. And then it's just, when they meet final stabilization criteria, if you can remove erosion controls after inspection, and then certificate of compliance procedure. So that was kind of the main of it, and I didn't know if you guys wanted to make any tweaks to it or wanted to wait on anything else, but.
Generally, the places that you get the Title V sand from, you can also get common fill from those places.
Because this ties as a condition directly to what answers you get from the other department there. I support it.
I'd really like to move that, see if concrete be crushed up in place. And I'm also a little worried that it would have asbestos in it, given the age.
I can't hear you guys. So, sorry, this is the one thing we're here for, so.
Please feel free to move up here, because we have quiet
Okay.
places.
So these are the things that he's working with him directly on. So, yeah, I mean, it is in the normal course of action, okay? Like the concrete is processed on site and is put back into the hole. That's just, and Tim even acknowledged that in his email back to us. That is a normal course of action for this, and it's something that has been done and is precedent. Precedent has been set in town for that. That having been said, he also is working with Josh in terms of figuring out a way of not doing that in this particular instance. So, I mean, it really comes down to the demolition permit that's issued by the town that has yet to be issued by the town. So, I mean, whatever ultimately is decided in that capacity is what will happen with this. I understand your concerns.
Anyone have any other questions, comments?
I would just add something in there about dust control. If we're crushing on site.
That's good though.
nitrous control limited to water and, you know, like.
Yeah,
is there any-
it seems like that's really the only method they could use out here. That might cut down your concern on fugitive dust.
Or then to open it to the floor. There's neighbors there.
Anyone from the public interested in commenting?
Sure. So I have a couple of questions. So I know that the septic passed when the house was sold. So they had, when we got the letter of intent or whatever it is that is sent to us, it said that the septic system failed. So we know that.
you are?
Oh,
Just for the
sorry,
record.
Stacy Jane Gregorio. I live 100 Main Street.
Okay, just for the record,
So
thank you.
we abut. Now, is he actually doing this new septic because he's turning it into a two-family? This kind of got glazed over in the February meeting. You guys quickly
He's
kind of
doing-
touched on it.
He's
and
doing this because he needs to do it. He's not doing it because he wants to.
Okay, but is it turning into a two-family?
You can take that up with him. I don't know.
Yeah, so,
'Cause-
so to clarify, unfortunately, that's not something we can really get into, because it would just be building
How
and
about all the
building or board of
excavation that's
health.
already happened around the yard?
Yeah, that's not something I've seen. Is there
Have you driven
ongoing?
by the property?
Yeah, I
Okay,
did, well,
'cause
not,
there was
not in the
huge
last
piles of
week,
dirt in
so
front
I,
of the house,
yeah,
there's
I
huge
just-
piles of dirt behind it. So, okay,
I would just like to say that if there is stuff going on, this is why we're here, is because we're trying to fix a problem that currently exists. So like, let's condition it and get the erosion controls and everything up and move on with it, move on with the process, because
Is there work going on?
I honestly.
there's an excavator in the back and there's large piles of dirt.
I haven't been there since the other day when I was with. When I laid out where that temporary easement was, and I saw an excavator in the backyard, but
There are test pits in the backyard on the plan, which.
So if there's an excavator in the backyard, it's in the 100.
Yeah, but they were doing testing for.
It's been sitting there a while. Excuse my voice, but it hasn't come back yet.
So they're allowed to do test pits, exploratory test pits. This type of work.
so that would be
Not for the-
something that would be something that's conditioned as a part of the order, is making sure there's erosion controls out there, making sure that stockpiles are farther away from the wetlands, making sure that there's more upkeep of that stuff. So if work is ongoing without a permit, it shouldn't be. So we can
Okay.
definitely talk about that, and if, if they get the permit and move forward with it, like you said, we can get things back into compliance.
Sure,
as
so you
quick as
just go to
possible,
town hall
but-
to find out about permits or,
what type of permit?
I don't know what they would need, so.
Building or.
Yeah, you can always call, it would be zoning, building, board of health, you can always call their offices. We have permit eyes for those systems. Unfortunately, we don't have permit eyes for ours, so it's a little bit harder to access those docs, but you can always call me, or you can call any of the offices upstairs for any of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And you're checking with the temporary act off of Archer Street. You will notice, you'll be able to check with the town, DPW. That road has been now certified as a accessible road for normal traffic. That road was just placed in existence and recapped and redid this past summer. Of course, the blacktop will be cured by this time, but on the edges there are berms up. Gentleman has explained to me that they were using metal plates to protect the soil as well as the blacktop. So larger trucks can drive over that area and allow them to conduct work. They are going to be on the property a short period of time of no more than 2 weeks, from my understanding, as long as the rain holds. That way it won't be just soft soil that they're pushing. with their tires or the equipment. So they are going to, as it says in the permit, to resurface or redo my yard that they're going to use for a temporary roadside. That's the discussion that has been made. They have a piece of paper that's supposed to be signed and discussed with me prior to that, going in with that. Yes, I signed your document that you were going to have, or have already have, and my signature on it. So yes, I've been talking to them. Yes, I'm giving them the break to say, go ahead and fix your property with the sewer system. You have to tolerate the rest of it. I don't want you in the wetlands. I want my town parks property back. That's bottom line. Yes, I'm the town park commissioner. So I don't want you messing up the property. Outside of that, that's conflict of interest. I can't say much. But I will tell you what I do. So
Yes.
I'm here tonight to make sure you understand what has to be done. I'm the one that's caught in the middle. It's my property, my neighborhood. So I just want it done properly. These people are the first steps. And they're gonna find out everything I know, yes.
Could you just state your name for the record?
My name is William L. Roberts Senior, Corinda Town Documents. My property is listed under a trust of my son and his wife and my wife. They've lived there since 80. We've been there for over 40 years. Yes, the pool was there. And this gentleman and I have been neighbors for a few days. Yes. So we control the neighborhood very well. His wife is in good standings with my family. Let's put it that way. She takes care of my grand dog. And his master, her master is coming home this evening and she should be coming in the driveway shortly from Japan. So I would like to get to see her for as soon as possible. But yes, I'm here for a reason.
Commission.
Can I just bring up one more thing?
Before you do that, just the plan I'm looking at has the house as an existing 5-bedroom. And the math for the septic is for a 5-bedroom septic.
Okay, so any other points of discussion for the conservation commission?
I just wanted to bring up too, like, is there gonna be anything in there about like making sure any trash and stuff like that is contained and not blowing it to, because we're already cleaning up a lot of stuff coming over from there from the work that is being done. And frankly, I don't want to be cleaning up somebody else's trash all day long.
No,
Cigarette butts and everything from workers and, you know, we never did deal with that before.
Have you been to planning board meetings?
We, have gone to, right, wasn't it the planning board we went to? Yeah.
It's-
But I don't believe that this was brought up at the planning board, right?
No.
Yeah, so this permit
was
isn't in front
just
of the
for-
planning
yeah.
board. This is only Concom related right now, at
Yeah.
least. In terms of, trash and debris, that's something that we
That's
can
with them
state
too.
for wetlands and buffer zones, but we don't have any jurisdiction outside of that. So that's something that if you'd like to put trash and debris on site for that, I can do that for wetlands. Yeah.
Under the planning board?
ADUs, planning board or building department. I know there's a little bit more because of the new regulations that were passed.
Yeah,
And by
correct.
right stuff, so it's building
Yep.
department has more of that.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
The reason I asked about the planning board is if you wanted at least get a voice in for operational time limits on the grinding up of the materials. But that would not be here.
Okay.
Probably be building department. The demolition.
The
project.
demo permit.
General work hours, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, So I'm going to make a motion to issue the order of conditions subject to the changes that Hannah will be taking into account.
Entertaining one or making one?
I'll entertain it, I guess.
I'll make it.
And I'll second it.
Oh, and close the hearing.
This place. Yeah.
Sorry, it's my first day.
Doing good first day.
Okay.
Use a couple more dad jokes, but.
Oh,
No.
I
got a whole
road, I got a whole book of them.
Yay or nay, Mike?
Aye, yeah.
Pam?
Aye.
Nicole?
Aye.
Don?
Aye.
James?
Aye.
Steve?
Yay.
And I'll say aye. So unanimous vote to close the hearing and issue the order of conditions subject to the change. When can you get that done?
I have it drafted, so if you guys wanna sign it, and then I can make the changes and just that issue, yeah, add the conditions and.
Those conditions
There
gonna
you
be
go, ship it.
trash,
Yep.
commentary, the dust
Control.
Dust control. And that was it. I think everything else was contained.
Yep.
The language, okay,
Yep.
okay.
So maybe like. Yeah. Reach out to Karen.
Sure.
The dust, that you brought it up, the dust is, I don't know what fiber was utilized under concrete, so that could pose a problem with
In the
the
seventies,
conservation area.
we'll let Tim make that call. If he wants to live with it, he can live with it.
Well, thank you for your time this evening. Appreciate it. So,
No, thank you. And thank you for attending. I wish more neighbors attended these things.
I have that, this is my file, I don't downstairs, but in the field, yeah.
I was actually looking for that and I only got like this far. And you're already, you're a master at that.
So, yeah, no, all right, but so if you have questions, feel free to give us a call, and I'll direct you the best way.
No problem, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Sorry.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, well, for the next hearing, the applicant has requested a continuation to April 22nd. This hearing is a continuation of the hearing for 455 Hartford Ave, map 4, lot 72. Alteration of 100-foot buffer zone to BVW for the construction of a commercial building, including infrastructure, stormwater management features and site grading.
I can't hear you.
Moshi Atius.
I can't hear anything you're saying. You
Aye.
can, come up another round, like, that would help a little bit. Not really. Just speak up. Which one's being, continued?
455 Hartford Ave.
Is that the, Mill Creek or Mill?
Nope,
Nope.
455 Hartford Ave.
Okay.
So the applicant is Moshi Atius of Darn Properties LLC, and the representative is Doug Dillon from Goddard Consulting, and I don't think anyone is here tonight to represent them, so no.
We're just.
Send you the 22nd.
Second. Thanks, Tom.
Any discussion?
Just keep this rolling.
Alright, Steve,
All right.
James,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Pam,
Aye.
and Mike,
Aye.
and I'll say aye as well, so unanimous vote.
Great.
Alright,
Now we get into red metal.
yeah, so the next hearing is a new hearing,
It's 4.
4 new hearings, why are they on 2 separate pages?
I wish I could make them one.
So I will open 4 hearings at once because they are substantially similar. New hearings, notices of intent for lots 16, 17, 18, and 19 of Red Mill on the Charles at Mechanic Street and Mill Street, all currently located on map 31, lot 13-1. Construction of single-family homes within buffer zone and various riverfront areas. Whole northeast B or 5?
It's V, yeah.
B
That's
Corp
fine, yeah.
is the applicant, and Brian Madden of LEC Environmental Consultants is representative.
Hello,
Sorry.
everyone.
Yes.
Didn't want to come hang out with us in person again?
Sorry I couldn't be there this evening.
Oh, you really?
Can I share my screen?
Please do.
I just changed it now, so you should be able to now.
Thank you, Anna. Can everyone see my screen now?
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Brian Madden from LEC Environmental, representing the applicant. So at the last meeting, we introduced the first batch of 8 NOIs within the commission's jurisdiction. This is a continuation, still within the westerly portion of the subdivision, just moving clockwise around the outer perimeter of the westerly lobe, we'll call it. You can see starting with lot 16 here and then moving down in a row, 4 in a row for lots 16 through 19. These lots or portions of them are located within the riverfront area to that centrally located unnamed perennial stream. And we'll go one by one and review what is exactly being proposed within jurisdictional areas. There is one lot, lot 17, that also minimally overlaps with the 100-foot buffer zone to BVW. But otherwise, the 4 lots are primarily partially within riverfront area. And so at the last meeting, I discussed kind of the model type and house foundation proposed on each lot and what the potential outdoor living spaces may involve. And again, those are behind the units and consist of potential of expanded decks, pervious patios, areas for grills, fire pits, or other landscape features. And what we've represented here, starting with lot 16, and I'll just zoom in a little bit. This box footprint right here is that max potential outdoor living area. And any decks extending off the house itself would need to comply with zoning setbacks. So you can see here there's a 20-foot backyard setback off of the lot line where any deck space would be contained within the allowed area. So here we just have a set of steps walking out the back of the house to the outdoor living use area. This particular lot has very minimal work activity within the outer riverfront area, being the green highlighted area, 283 square feet. That consists of just regrading lawn and a footing drain extending across that area. I'll stop there for questions before moving on to the next lot, if there are any.
This is for Hannah, did we get, that book I had asked for the plans? for
Yes,
Fire
he
Bond?
did submit that. That's something that, what would be the easiest way to, because he's just been submitting them like in the batches that we get. So this one was like 16 through 19.
Mhm.
Where would you like me to put those?
If you want to put it in, I'm assuming there's like the main file. Like how we have for other big
Like along
projects.
the big side there, put it in there?
Yeah.
Okay, I will do
'Cause
that.
It's easier
'Cause I
for
was like-
me to scroll once, because especially smaller lots that are
Yep,
quick
Yeah.
review, it's easy,
Yeah.
instead of having to open another document,
yep,
I can just
okay.
scroll. And
Okay.
I'm at the next one.
And where's that folder? It's in ours?
No, so that's, I haven't created that
Okay.
yet. That's, I guess the other question there is,
What about?
do you want me to each time, just when I get a batch, I could just combine it into a, it's tough to, because,
What about putting it on the current Bellingham filings?
That's what I was talking.
yes, yeah, on there, but is it okay if it's like batch 16 through 19 and then, like 8 through whatever?
To be honest, it'd be
batches?
really nice if every round we get a new one, you just add it. And it's one PDF file.
Okay,
and it's
so
all
then,
of them.
that's almost like, I might as well not even put it, I mean, I guess I could for the public, but in terms of, because I'm gonna have to do that, upload a new file anyways, if it's just gonna be a continuous PDF.
Yeah.
So I could,
I think maybe even just for us via email for the hearing,
yeah,
it's really much easier. For
that would be
me to
easier.
review,
Okay.
especially when we're going through these intro ones and we're doing 5 or 6 at a time. Instead of
This way you just kind of flip through each.
Yeah.
You can see.
instead of going, opening up 5 of the NOI packets and
It's,
having them all.
yeah, it's
And they're always buried down and you have to.
when, I guess it's
But
different for
don't they-
this one because we're only doing 16 through
Right.
that today, but for the next one, when we have the whole huge batch, I will put those all together
Okay.
after today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that.
It's not a big pain. It's just like, it would be easier to I can
Okay.
just scroll through them all.
Unless it's a really big pain for you.
If it is, I can have LEC help out to
I'm
prepare a
assuming,
document.
I'm assuming Time Bond gave Brian like
Yes.
every sheet in
Yeah.
one thing and said, here you go, here's all of them.
Yeah, I can have our consultant pull something together if it makes it easier.
That might.
Rather than you having me create
Yeah,
it.
if we're going,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess
Yeah.
if we're going into like the April 22nd meeting, if you could put all of the ones that we're looking at into one PDF, that would be great.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Right.
Thank you.
Yep, we can certainly do that. Thank you.
And please in order, it sounds like a silly request, but
Is this 16 or 12, you know?
All right, moving.
So I
down-
just had one really brief question about this. You have a length and a width of the area that's in, the riverfront. It only looks like, I'm guessing it only looks like about 20 feet. Width.
283 square feet.
Yeah, I know, but I was trying to think of it dimensionally going in. So it looks like what is it, like yeah, so you're right. Is that only like, 15 to 20 feet into the riverfront area?
Yeah, I think it's less than 10 feet or
Okay.
close to 10 feet.
Yeah, it looked very modest, but I just,
Yeah, because you see the 10-foot setback.
yeah, I was looking at that and I'm going, it looks like I couldn't tell. All right, perfect. All right, thank you.
Brian, what provisions are in the plans to prevent these limits from migrating further and further every lawn mowing season?
So there is a requirement, sorry, Jeff Heidelberg from Toll Brothers. There is a requirement in the existing order that requires that we have placards set at the buffer. I don't know, Brian, if you have that language in front of you.
And I think the last time, was it fencing or stakes? I think it was.
I think that there was an alternative for,
They're
Every,
some type of
on the
monument.
corner of each of the properties, right? Like on the edge of each one.
It's supposed to be like 4 feet tall.
Yeah, and 4 feet tall, and I think, I forget the description of it, but I envisioned a post that had to be, was it concrete, I think,
Yeah,
or?
I think it described it in
Yeah,
the
described it,
original order of conditions.
yeah.
Might be, I mean, it might be helpful to put those on the plans. Like on the individual house.
I
plans.
almost kind of like that
I
because,
think that's
yeah,
a really good idea. It doesn't get lost. It gets revisited over and over.
yeah, and we can reinforce that instead of having to remember to bring it up each time.
Well,
Yeah, I
it-
think carrying it forward for all these individual orders makes sense.
Yeah. Thanks.
Will there be a management company that's policing this, Brian, in some fashion?
I'll defer to Jeff.
Just leave it onto the homeowner for good faith?
during the construction period.
No.
Oh, you
After the construction, no, so there will be an HOA that kind of oversees the beautification of certain areas within the development, but as far as policing the setbacks on the buffers, as far as I know, I don't think that we have a control for that.
You just added as.
Usually ends up just being open space that we have to.
But can we put in an order of conditions that an HOA have that as a maintenance requirement?
Like doing inspections of
Yeah,
them?
an annual sidewalk.
Is it gonna be HOA where this might be thinking too far ahead, you might not have the answer. Is it HOA where they maintain the grounds, or is it HOA where they just maintain common structures?
It's an HOA that only maintains common structures, whereas this is,
So each single family would be required for their own maintenance of the lawn, so we would put that condition on this. A potential order for this NOI, because if that specific homeowner that's required for
Right.
those lots, it's not the HOA that would be required for those specific lots.
yeah,
Gets
this is a
recorded on
true
deeds needed.
subdivision in that, you know, each lot will be an individually owned lot. The reason for the HOA is literally there's a sign that shows where the entrance is to Red Mill, and that signage is just part of the HOA's maintenance, and then there's a mail kiosk that they're obligated to maintain. That's pretty much the limit of the HOA that we're talking about, because it's a subdivision. You own your house, you own your land, you own your driveway, you own your maintenance, you own everything.
And if the roads have already been conveyed to the town,
At that point, they would be, not yet, but once they're constructed, will be bonded, once they're constructed, and then they're accepted by the town. The stormwater management facilities will be owned and maintained by the town, same thing with all the infrastructure, water, sewer, roadways, et cetera.
So I don't really have a lot of experience with HOAs, but if you were to buy a property as part of an HOA, do you meet them right away, like as a property owner or prospective property owner? Like they come out and say like, hi, here's the rules. They're like,
So when you're buying a home as part of an HOA, you have to sign a document that says that you're aware that there is an HOA that exists and that you owe, in this case, it's gonna be a small amount of money because it's only maintaining a sign, X amount of dollars per year or per quarter.
does
And
that have any of the requirements that the HOA has on it? Like, is it like a master plan sort
it would
of
be a master,
deed?
I don't know if there's a master deed. I can find out for you, so next time I can discuss this a little bit better. Let me have a conversation with, our legal department. And they can probably explain it to me better, that I can relay it back to you.
So in that conversation, would or could the HOA also administer a check of provisions that the homeowner is expected to maintain? I understand what you said. It's primarily driven over maintaining a mail kiosk and a sign. But someone has to administer the other requirements and restrictions for the community, I would assume. If you could provide that answer.
Yeah, that's kind of just leading to with my question, like, could they be like, you have wetlands and, or like, there's a no disturb zone here, by the way, just tell them, because like.
Some annual inspection or something.
And there is
No.
each property it will be a deeded piece of land,
Yeah, each
and
property.
our order of
Yeah.
conditions will be registered at the registry of deeds that I
So let me bypass that aspect and ask Hannah a question. We get a fair amount of anonymous neighbor watch complaints saying, can you come and look at this? I assume, should we get that, we're allowed to enter these properties?
Yeah, I mean, in the
Sure.
original agreement, like it'll transfer to open space for Concom purposes, and that's something that, you know, would become a Concom
So the
responsibility.
riverfront will be transferred to us.
Yes, well, not the whole
Not the ones
riverfront,
in
but that everything that's in that, the open space there is.
so that green portion.
No, that I understand, but behind it.
Yes,
So there'll be no identified easement to the area. Access would only be through the properties.
I mean, the roadways.
Yeah, can I add a little color here?
Please do, Brian.
Thanks. So I pulled up the open space plan. So the majority of these lots abut open space that is going to be deeded to the town under the care and custody of the Conservation Commission. So aside from a few
Oh, so we have 360 access, basically.
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
aside from a few lots where, and one in particular, like lot 16, it's the drainage parcels in between, these all abut town open space in the future.
well, the town will own that drainage parcel, right, Brian?
It was excluded from the open space.
No, I mean, when the roads are conveyed ultimately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it will be under town control, correct?
Oh,
Yes.
yes, we'll have access.
Yeah, okay.
Any further questions, conversations, or you want me to move on?
Yep.
I'm good on 16.
Yep, thank you.
No, it was 16. There was 16.
So I'm good on 16. So that was 16.
All right. So moving down to the south is lot 17. This is the one lot that has some minimal work within also the outer 100-foot buffer zone to BVW associated with that perennial stream. I'm just going to zoom in here a little bit. So the green, the lighter green is the riverfront area work, and then this little tiny sliver is the work within the 100, also within the 100-foot buffer zone to the BVW. This is the only lot that has some buffer zone projection of BVW. You can see here this back erosion control boundary is the current limit of work, active use area, and the lot itself is either landward or coincident with that limit of work. This portion has 355 square feet of outdoor living use area proposed within the riverfront area. And again, it's in the zoning setback, so it would be, limited to landscape features, and or patio, pervious patio.
It looks like you've taken a lot of earth out of that lot. Is
Um,
that fill or excavation?
Coming off the road, it's sloping down a little bit. 242 is right here, and then 240. Not a ton here. It's these.
What's the high mark? There's a lot of graduation lines in there.
Yeah, those are pre-existing contours. I can't tell
So
you.
there's just to be clear, so portions of the site have these mounds all over because it's quarry, existing quarry. So what you're looking at there may be a spoil pile that would be pushed aside. So a lot of the site's an active quarry. If you zoom in, Brian, we might be able to see if that's one of those.
So it's existing.
It
topography,
is,
not
yeah.
proposed.
One of the earlier pictures shows it.
Yeah,
Is
and Steve, I can't tell you that mound exists right now. This site's under active excavation, so it could be removed at this point.
But if you scroll up a few pages, you can see where it says shows lot 16 through 21 approximate area. You can tell almost by just looking at,
Oh, yeah. There's like an actual.
yeah.
Yeah, this sloping off the back of the lot is for the stormwater basin behind it.
Yeah, actually I was gonna ask you that because if you look at 18, it's got the drain.
Yeah.
I saw it on one of the 17.
Yeah,
Yeah, the footing drain, I just want to know what is that ultimately draining into?
it drains up gradient. I don't have it on these plan sets. I could pull it up, but I think it extends in daylights just off of lot 14. And the footing drain is just a perimeter footing drain to take water away that could otherwise pool up at the foundation. It's not runoff of any capacity from the roof.
Oh, okay.
It's just a kind of a safety valve, basically.
Is sort of like what we used to call a French drain for the foundation or the.
Yeah, so
Yep.
this is to ensure that
It doesn't
have
pool up
flooded,
against.
yeah, flooded basements, there's a hydrostatic pressure that could build up on
Okay.
on the side of the unit, things like that. We're trying to avoid problems before
Yeah, but
that.
it's not like you're expecting water to pool in the backyard and have it then run
Correct.
through this drain and erode into the ground. Yeah, correct.
Yep.
And Brian, the drainage structure that comes off the catch basin from the road that ends at like the very east corner of the property.
Yeah.
What's the outlet structure look like for that? I'm assuming so the town at some point will be required to maintain that. Is there a drainage easement afforded to the town according to that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's included on the subdivision plan set that we're still waiting on the peer review for that, by the way.
Okay. But what's the structural, is it gonna be like riprap or?
Yeah, let me pull it up for you.
I'll see, Brian's got the fun one. He's got the big,
Yeah, he's got the master.
Yeah, to answer Don, your earlier question about the footing drain, this is where it daylights right here. Um, for lot 14, it's combined. But moving down, oops, I think I gotta skip over a sheet. Here we go. Yeah, riprap,
Okay.
and then a swell going down towards the basin.
So is that riprap included in the impact calcs there? Looks like we have different shapes.
So that would be part of that roadway and infrastructure
Yeah.
filing that's still pending,
Okay,
that updated plan.
right.
The idea here is we're doing that roadway and infrastructure first and foremost. We'd be able to close that out separately from each one of these individual lots.
Any other questions on this one? Move on to 18.
Brian, how many lots in the project will be entering?
Jurisdictional areas.
Yes,
There's a total of 34.
Out of how many?
What is it? What is the total count?
Out of just single families,
Yeah.
like 116.
Yeah, and I say 34.
About on.
34 does include, there's some larger lots
100.
that have townhomes.
yeah, but you're entering jurisdictional area in nearly a third of the lots.
I think, so not to, I don't want to cut you off by any means. I think some of the discussion, I was just thinking about this, some of the discussion might be better suited to do on the 22nd when we discuss the
bigger
amendment for this rather than right now, just to try to keep it broken up. I know it's really tough because it's obviously relevant, but just in terms of some of those bigger overarching questions.
Yeah, I will say, sorry if this is a field, but just for context too, this is so lots 16 through 19 here. This is where we shored up the overall limit of work and we're able to do some minimization of work within the riverfront area and also the 50 to 100-foot buffer zone area. And do some revegetation of those areas. But that's part of the larger amendment request. But it's immediately adjacent, and they're, one of the changes that's reflected on these lots is as we get to lot 18 is there's a retaining wall that was proposed that's new to help minimize that site grading and site disturbance to allow for the expansion of those riverfront area restoration areas.
Anna, for that 22nd meeting, can you include like the final plans that we originally approved for this entire project?
Yep, yes, yeah, I can, yeah, on some of the past ones, those were included, but I can do a more updated, like side, like the overall one that's available to the public and everything too, so I'll include, some of those, larger multiple maps, and then I'll include the old plans, the old order of conditions. I can include that all on there, just so you guys can refer back.
Brian, I want to ask the board a question, but I'd like you to pay attention if you would. Not
Yep.
that you aren't, but do we want to see all the entry areas on a single drawing, colored? so we can see in green or whatever color he chooses, the total in, for the 22nd, total impact of the project as a whole,
Yes, I was just hoping we'd see that. Isn't that part of what?
rather than
No,
piecemeal like this?
Well, we've
So
seen
he's
approved
getting
them.
order conditions for the individual lots, and we had just approved the whole project with a lot of these impacts, although I think the amendment that they're coming in for is changes to that.
Yes, and that did come with where they were proposing increases or decreases in grading.
But we'd be able to see in the context of the.
Yeah. Is this it?
Correct. Yeah, it's part of the full subdivision plan set. There's two sheets that highlight the buffer zone and riverfront area work areas, in addition to the restoration areas.
Can you zoom in on the key, Brian, please?
Yep.
What is riverfront?
That's what they're doing.
We also, at the last meeting, prior to the last meeting for the amendment request, we did submit a updated graphic. Here it is, that kind of showed the pluses and minuses based on the original approval. But we can certainly revisit that on the 22nd in more detail.
Can I make a suggestion for the plan, before the 22nd? Maybe pick a different hatch for the riverfront impacts, because it was a little hard to see relative to the riverfront area.
Oh, okay. This one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like even if you just do like a blue crosshatch or something.
Yeah, I think we can work up that graphic. We're withholding on updating the overall plan set until we get the peer review comments, so we're not making multiple revisions. But we can certainly update the graphic.
It might be helpful to have something actually in a, I don't want to say a full-size sheet, I don't know what that means, but
D size.
yeah, you can D-size a couple of copies so we can. It's nice and what you're doing to blow it up, and look at individual areas, but for us to be able to see.
Maybe you want a physical copy of it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll bring some hard full-size copies, and we can submit some additional ones in advance if you'd like.
thank you.
And to confirm, Brian, I feel like I asked this last time too, but so that the additional impacts that are being proposed under your amendment are not included in the lot plans, because those are outside of those lot lines? Or am
Yeah,
I?
all the
confusing
work.
that?
Yeah, all the work on the individual lots is contained within the previously developed footprints.
Okay.
Yep. I know it's hard to keep it focused on these individual lots, and there is so much overlap and cross pollination here. I think it's helpful just to see the full picture though.
Cross pollination.
It is spring.
Yes.
I mean, but the idea overall here is there's an overall project that has overall impacts. Those are being offset by the open space that were granted to the town. And included in that is a process by which we want to be able to release the individual lot owners so that they can own and carry out their own property while we're still developing an adjacent property. So they're not all tied together into this one order of conditions. So that's why it's such a complicated, numerous stepped mess of these notice of intents. But it's really the only way we can kind of separate out each individual lot and let each one stand on its own. But we are looking at it holistically, and that's why we've got that. I call it the roadway and infrastructure one, but that's the overall site, that's the overall impacts that we're doing.
So, what, 18?
Yeah, can move on to.
Yep.
Next.
Okay. Thank you. So kind of moving to the southwest, lot 18. This is where we start getting a new retaining wall, extending on to 19, which is our last notice for this batch. Green areas within riverfront area, 369 square feet for the potential outdoor living use area. Again, similar to all these ones, the house itself is outside the riverfront area. It's just the back patio landscaped areas are going to be within jurisdiction. And so, behind off the lot, you can see the old tree line. This is the previously developed limits of the sand and gravel pit. That's part of the restoration area that will be all revegetated. But the impacts across, at least you can see these three lots are pretty consistent. And I can move down to 19 if you'd like.
Sure.
All right, the last one for this batch is 19. Again, very similar, 310 square feet of that outdoor living use area, extending into the riverfront area. And again, very similar to the last few you've seen.
Who's owning the retaining wall? Just because I see it's actually going through the individual lot properties.
No, it's just outside.
On mine.
It becomes part of the lot line.
Right. Well, so who, I guess, again, my question, who
Oh, I was looking.
is gonna be required for maintaining that?
So individual homeowners if it's on the lot, but if it's. Let me,
Yeah.
I'll give you an answer as I'm having this conversation with.
Because I guess if it is the lot line.
Yeah,
That's a question.
that's a good question. Yep.
Yeah, I was just pulling up this plan just to show top and bottom of wall. So starting on 18, 240 top, 236 bottom, so a little over 4 feet. And then it does go up to 9 feet on the south end of it.
Crazy, are these numbers different?
It's crazy.
What will the retaining wall be? What's it made out of?
It'll be a masonry wall, but I don't know if it's a big block wall or like a Versalock, smaller stone. I don't think we've got it priced or engineered just yet.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
railroad ties.
No,
No, yeah, pre-salt railroad ties.
I don't think, did Liz specify yet? I don't think that we've got a structural engineer.
I think all we've established it's a masonry block wall.
I think that's all we've called out.
And I'm just seeing if there's any detail on the plans.
Those are gonna be, potentially approved by the amended order. The retaining walls are in those orders, not in these orders, or is it both?
Those retaining walls are in the amended order.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's one of the most updated graphics. They actually did call out where all of those retaining walls are. So in the docs, when I kind of get them all together, I can point that one out.
I
Take a look
think-
at all those retaining walls.
Okay, yeah, I think
Yeah.
once you get the answer on who is gonna own it, I think it should be in one
One
of
or the
them,
other.
not both, yeah.
Yep.
I think, because if the town or whoever's gonna own it in the future owns it and it's in their homeowner's order of conditions, if I'm a homeowner, I'd be a little upset about that, because
Yeah.
it's not my responsibility.
We'll be installing it as part of the roadway and infrastructure package, which is why it's in the amended order filing. But to your point, at the end of the day, who's actually owning it on the property side?
So, question for the board. from the position that we've seen a lot of retaining walls fail. The one at Whole Foods going into the wetlands, they shut down one lane. Given that this is happening within jurisdictional area, are we within our rights to specify something or at least confirm and improve respect for that wall and a lifespan, that kind of thing? I'd like to see it.
I think we'd have to work with planning. That.
Right.
Right, because there's.
So there's the question, is it planning board because it's in jurisdictional or is it ours?
It's both, because they're getting peer review done by planning. Right, for.
Yeah.
For stormwater.
I'd be careful, Steve, about specking out a wall because that potentially makes us liable should it fail and we spec'd it.
I agree, that's why I kind of changed. When I said it, I added or approve it, because we're not engineers and we're not specifiers either.
I think since it's in our jurisdiction, we're within our rights to request that peer
Or
review.
request it.
Yeah, I think somebody, an engineer to verify, a certified engineer that's qualified in that area to, retaining walls, whatever, specifically to review it and approve it.
I don't think we're asking them to do anything that they're not already doing. It's more just that we have access to view it. Which I think we're within our rights because it's within our jurisdiction.
But let me ask a naive question. Why would we want to take responsibility for sort of maintenance or
No,
owning
we,
it?
we would,
It would
just,
be the
No,
homeowner.
we would just want, no, we'd want to review the retaining.
No, I agree with that,
plan
but,
before.
right, no, I agree with that,
approve
but
it.
let's say 30 years down the road, right, it's collapses or like what we've seen before. If it's town or conservation's owns it,
oh,
then we own the
Well,
responsibility.
this is why
And-
I.
right,
want them
which
to
is-
confirm who.
Which, so I'm posing the question, well, why would we want to do that?
We
And
wouldn't.
wouldn't we want to say, no, it's got to stay on the homeowners as a responsibility to maintain that
so
indefinitely?
your point is, as it transfers to us through open space,
Correct.
and it's outside the homeowner's property line, it then becomes our baby.
Correct. And I'm concerned about that.
And you should be.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd prefer to see that it's either the HOA's or the homeowner's responsibility or a combination of both. HOA,
Masonry block won't work.
I was thinking one of those interlocking ones in my head. I don't know. But either way, it's way different than the Whole Foods one. That one was just,
That's something I can try to touch base with our legal, I mean, I know you guys are, but just in terms of like. What does that mean for the transfer of open space? And
Yeah,
already
yeah.
type of thing, so.
Yeah.
it's like legal, it, no, we'd have to maintain it.
There may be a way to have a easement over it to allow access for the HOA to maintain if
Mhm.
necessary,
Yeah.
something like that.
Maybe we could.
Those dues are gonna go up.
Yeah, I mean, but.
Well, but I
understand your
mean,
point, well,
yeah, if it collapses, then the town's taxes go up, right?
Right.
So.
Yeah, I think just confirming, and I know you will, just confirming. The homeowner, it sounds like the reference would be obviously the homeowners own it, or the HOA or whoever. And then, transporting that to both filings, making sure that if it's only the homeowners, it's not on our amended word, because we're not approving it for that. Specifically, if it's shown on the open space parcel, but if it's shown specifically in reference to the homeowner lots, then I think we.
Brian, do you know offhand how at this lot 19, how high that wall is or how much earth it's holding, not total quantity of earth, but what?
Yeah. So this corner right here is about 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
It starts out 4 feet on this end and then gets up to about 9 feet here.
Do you have to put a railing on it at 9 feet?
I don't know
Yeah,
that. I don't
jump
know what
off,
code
that's-
would requires. We can confirm that.
Kid. If I was a kid and I lived there, I'd be like,
If I was a kid and I lived there, I wouldn't be an adult.
yeah.
I think it was cool.
I'd be like jumping off the top.
Yeah, I'd break.
All right, thank you. And obviously, these questions are applicable to, you know, anywhere where we're gonna see a retaining wall
Yeah.
of some substantial size.
Get this little kid in one of those little electric cars.
Oh, no.
I don't know, 4 feet on a bicycle might have been a fun attempt as a kid. 9 feet, I
There you
don't know.
go.
That's a good question.
Little
I
evil-
remember if we ended with 19, I was like, I know.
Yeah, we
there's
did.
20, but that's
Yes.
the next
Yeah, we
one.
did.
So are there any other questions from the commission on just these lots, not the whole project? Any questions from members of the public? Where'd our guy go? I wanted to hear this.
He ran out like an hour ago.
Okay, well, hope he's watching online. Sends us his questions. Any questions, anything, any discussion?
Not by me.
Sir, are you here for this?
No.
Okay,
It's here for COC list.
so are we continuing this to the 22nd as well?
Yep.
Yep. Okay,
I'll make a motion that we continue this to the 22nd.
continue what?
Oh, all right, well, so continue. Let me put this right now, all the numbers. Thank you.
Yeah, I would recommend saying the hearing forward.
Yeah, the hearing for,
Hearings.
and that the hearings for, lot 16, 17, 18, and 19 of Red Mill on the Charles and Kennington Mill Street, map 31, lot 13-1.
Second.
Discussion?
No.
Mike,
Aye.
Pam,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
James,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
and I.
That was my first motion.
Okay.
And it took me a year.
Today or ever?
I think, yeah, the first time I actually made the motion, like actually said it.
Brian, is there any truth to the rumor that that unnamed perennial stream that goes through the middle of the property that you pointed out earlier is actually going to be
Drains
named
are closed.
Madden's Millbrook Pond, stream? After somebody's been working on the project as long as you have? You know, you could just put that on the plans. They won't even notice it for probably months.
We can go through a nomination procedure for one of the commission members. We'll
Madden's
pull a name out of
Millbrook,
a
you know,
hat.
has a tone to it, you know?
Well, thanks so much, everyone. I'll see you in person on the 22nd.
All right.
Good night.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good night. Thanks.
So I think we should take out of order. the-
Yeah, so
We have
the-
a few for
Yeah.
the other business, but I will ask this member of the public why he has come today.
It's here for the 100
Come on up.
Street,
Okay.
Farley Street, and I think that.
The enforcement orders.
Yep.
So I don't know if Hannah Bruce got the information to you.
No,
Okay.
he
Well-
didn't send me anything.
He got it to me on Tuesday afternoon, broke his tooth this morning, so he's in pain. So he was
Was it
gonna
from a
be,
punch, was it? No, just kidding.
I don't know. So anyway, I have 3 copies, so I think we can spread that out. The only disadvantage is the people who are zooming in, sorry. That's, I should have made sure that happened, so.
Thank you, everybody.
Man,
Yeah, that,
Vincent 40,
have you seen this name?
biologist / whatever else, or 96, 100, and number 103. So also I have sheets on the diameters of the stumps that are existing, obviously not basal area, but
Mhm.
that. And then I have a total count of 41 on this lot, 41 on this lot, with the glacial area that is absent of any tree stumps. And then there's 10 over here that are gonna resolve that area within the,
Is this the mass clearing?
yeah, this is the mass clearing, yeah. So I got involved with Mr. Tony Corey, said, Vinny, you gotta fix this. I said, well, I'll do my best. So like I just said, we had 41 planting. If you want to individualize it, I have on lot 96, I have 17 within the 50 to 100. I have 25 within the
no, excuse me, 17 to 50, 100. From the 25 to 50, because there is tree line and a flat area of shrubs on the bottom. It averages somewhere between 25 and 15 feet. It's irregular. It follows the MHW of the Jenks Pond. So there's 25 there on the slope. And then lot 100 is 25 on the upper part, because most of it is lawn. It's all accented off towards lot 100, that cleared triangles. The rest is entirely lawn. The 100 at the very top is actually got lawn and gravel. But anyway, it's only a small portion. Then the 16 within the 25 to 50. Again, both have 41. And then on house number 104, we have a total of 10 plantings. And all the spacing is anywhere between 12.5 to 15 feet. It's quite busy. It's doable, but it is quite busy. I mean, these trees are going to be, well, and that's, I'll bring up another point later. So anyway, on the count, on the stumps that were there, on number 100, we have a total of 14 left, all on the slope to 25 to 50. On 96, we have a total of 19. I call it the north side, so it's going towards center of town. South side going towards, let's say, whatever. Towards, there's a road back there, I can't remember. Rentham Road, let's say towards Rentham Road area, via the lake. So there are really predominantly pines there. Red pine, jack pine, white pine. There's a total of, out of that 14 stumps, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 10 of them. And then you have 2 red oaks and 1, let's say 3 white oaks. In the 96, we have 3 white oaks. Let's say 1 red oak, and then we have the majority of that other side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 15 on the north side, and on the south side, we have a total of 2 white oaks, 1 red oak, and then 3, 6, 9, 12 stumps. So a total stump count of 24 on one side, number 96, and 14 on number 100. The top is completely stump free. There are a couple of stumps that are literally on the edge. They're big ones. They're in the first 50, but they're literally 51 feet. So, yeah, I'm counting them slope, even though there are 1 or 2. And I think those are only on lot 96. Number 100 has nothing on the top. They're all on the bottom side. So the total square footage of disturbance on lot 96, we have in the 50 to 100, 20,254. In the 25 to 50, actually, I might have that. Yeah, I think actually, excuse me, I have those reversed. Okay, let's reverse that. Number 96, Lake Street, the 50 to 100 has 10,912. In the 50 to 100, the 25 to 50 is 3,017. Lot 96 has 20,000. No, lot 100 has 20,254. In the 50 to 100, that's that entire flat area behind his yard. And then the 25 to 50 is 6,234. So, and then number 104.
Oh, yeah.
Has only a small amount of disturbance. In the 25 to 50, it's like 2,400, and the other side, it's 5,256. So,
Good call. How much time is left from this growing season to get this in and get it to take root?
I can test it right now. As I look at it, depends on rainfall. The winter runoff was pretty good. We had a lot of big storms.
I have another question after that.
Okay, so I usually say the second week of April, all the way through the second week of May or the end of May. If we get a lot of rain, you can go into that. There's been some seasons where you couldn't plant in April and May, and we got rained out in June and July, but that's a rarity. And the only good season for my purpose of replication of anything, you know, is the spring season. The fall, I guess for little tiny plants, fine. But anything, even a 4 or 5 year transplant, which is half inch to an inch base. They may not survive in the winter, depends.
So the time is now.
The time is also too, like if you do it in the fall, you really have to hydrate them. Because you're gonna lose a lot of water and they'll lose their little leaves that they have. So whatever, the pines will
As long as you
plant.
water them, you can plant all year round. Like, I always tell my, cause I've done plantings in July and I'm like, do you wanna do this now or are you gonna water them? Like,
Right,
you know,
right.
as long as you water them, they'll be fine. I mean, up till June is a safe bet.
Yeah.
Well, except
Usually.
104, it's gonna be 300-400 feet to the. from the
Yeah,
house- from the
number
house.
104, like Mike and Todd are gonna take care of his things. But
Another question,
Here, like, where-
is it worthwhile?
Yeah, but that wasn't anything.
Yeah, we'll ask, but when Steve was saying something, so.
Is it worthwhile for another sidewalk or Hannah to go to see how this has survived the winter? Before we,
Yeah, we did,
Yeah, we
so,
would sort of
we were out there, was it Friday?
yep, I had sent an email and some
It was
text out,
Tuesday.
but I think you missed the meeting that we discussed, the meeting we
Okay.
were gonna get out there. So, that
did
was.
you focus on the left side of 96 on the south, that south edge? I mean, you're dropping 11 feet over 40. That's pretty steep.
It is, I'm gonna call it a 25 to 30% slope. And that's why we can't plant anything in there that is one. The landscape is doing it. If we try to put anything massive in there, requiring a large hole, either the machine or the landscapers will be into the woods. And that'll trip an OSHA violation. And, you know, I'm gonna say, it's like, I think we need to plant what we can plant safely that will grow. So.
Well, that might require a different type of vegetation.
Do you mean that section in the middle that doesn't have any proposed plantings?
No,
Oh.
the very south,
Yeah.
I think.
southwest
Red-
edge of 96.
I think that this is pretty much where you were circling, right?
Right. That one there, if you look at it, I do have like Bruce put in a tree thing all the way there. Some of these here, the stumps are relatively close together. A lot of these that were cut on
Right here,
14.
all this.
Oh.
And the,
No, all that other area over here, you see the line going up to the tree line, that's all treed. He didn't get into
Yeah, he
that
didn't
area.
touch that.
That's all treed.
where?
This whole area here. This whole area, that's all treed. This is a tree line, basically, what we're showing it. That's why this lot has very little disturbance.
It's a lake.
No.
The lake's down. No, the lake is down here, where the MHW line is. The red line, it says 197, 197.
This is
That's the literally 6 inches from the.
So, okay, so
Okay.
that edge is still vegetated as well.
Oh, yeah, that edge is all vegetated. That's why when we initially went out there,
I just saw.
we were talking 0 to 50. I said, well, it's not 0 anymore. I went out there and measured that, gave it to Bruce, and he put it on the plan. But it's very undulating because in some spaces that were dead, there's massive number of dead stumps that I'm not counting as stumps that would be replicated. So those are all in that area where it's here. So,
Do you agree with that, Ann?
I'm not sure
okay.
what, that's what I was confused about, is if the section in the middle, is that small
Oh,
section?
no, that's
super
a
steep?
glacial swale that never had anything in it.
Right, is that the section on here that's unvegetated, that you're not proposing to put more plants?
I think originally I had trees there and I said, why am I doing that? It's impossible.
Okay, but so that's different than
Yeah.
I guess I'm a little confused with the counts. How did you determine if it was a dead tree that didn't need to
Well,
be replicated for?
The bark is either completely falling off the cambium and then it's rotted in the middle. And those are, as we mentioned, when we did the walkthrough.
Are you a
they're-
certified arborist?
I'm not,
Okay.
but I know what dead is and I know what living is. The cambium on the pines especially, you can see it oozing sap now. You know, I don't think will sprout. The oaks, possibly not the white, but the red definitely. I think where the cambium is tight, and if you push on something, you get some juice. Those may produce sucker sprouts, but those are going to be useless. They'll get up 10 feet, the wind will knock them right off. You know, but they will vegetate. That's you know, I'm not counting those as, the count we're planting. I'm counting those as, if you get it, you get it. The other thing too, those tree stumps that are alive, if we get a planting close by, the plant will work off of that. It'll, use those rhizoids that might get into it, whatever. There's some,
What is a rhizoid?
that's the root structure that grabs the water and minerals to feed the plant, so.
Peter roots?
Yeah. But the ends of them where the hairs are, that's a rhizoid, so. Yeah, the feeder roots, that's the better way of saying it, It's like vessels, capillaries are beds of tiny vessels versus veins and arteries, which are trunk lines. So,
I'm not really seeing any like swale here in aerial imagery. It all looks pretty vegetated to me.
Yeah.
I should have taken a picture on it.
yeah,
Asked me to take pictures and I screwed up on that one, Pam. I didn't get pictures. I totally forgot once we got out there. I know, take me out again. But
Was this area?
Oh,
not
that's
marked?
okay. I forgive you, Hannah.
no, it's natural pine needles from the joining trees. And if you just push them, it's gravel.
'Cause
but the whole top section
everything
is
else was
mulched.
mulched.
Yes.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
that's why I'm.
Which was something that I did draft enforcement orders. I don't know, and that was in there on Friday. I don't know if anybody got a chance to look at them, but that was something that we had talked about while we were out there is, while the landscapers are going out and while they're planting, they need to make sure that there's not like a significant amount of mulch
Yeah, you know what?
on top that's gonna
Correct,
kill
yeah,
the tree.
yeah.
So when they're doing the plantings, they need to be monitoring that. So that was something that I included in there. But the top is still very, very much mulched and it, bleeds off a little bit into the
Did that-
side, but
Did berm survive?
there's not really much of a berm anymore.
No,
It's kind of just,
Yeah.
but
It
it
didn't
doesn't
wash
look
out.
like it's,
It-
yeah,
yeah,
there's
we didn't see any-
no washout, no
Oh
migration.
yeah, in the fall, we were like, God knows what this is gonna look like in April.
Yeah.
yeah,
But I think somebody raked over it.
Yeah.
But it was, but there was no, I couldn't see.
Yeah,
any
that's good for all
washouts.
spread.
Yeah.
But it didn't look like,
yeah. I don't think on the slope where you have a significant amount of, it's not aged yet, still whitish, the pine stuff. It's still there, it didn't move.
Yeah, okay.
And there are a lot of, I'm gonna say the herbaceous layers, a lot of, small plants, they're gonna start to come up, The
So
green
the
briar
mulch
is
isn't too
pretty
thick.
nasty, but whatever, that's another story. Yeah. Trying to pull tapes was difficult getting around that green briar, so, whatever.
Was your concern, Hannah, that you think count is low?
so I'm just seeing these numbers as you guys are.
Yeah.
So I am honestly not sure how it differs from the previous plan. That was just, the previous plan didn't indicate what had been cut or the areas that had been cut. So I was like, I don't necessarily know how you calculated what you're proposing to put in here. Can we get some area calculations for the top that's cut, because we don't have any stumps, and a count of the stumps that are
Yeah,
down
we
there to
had
make
agreed
sure
that
there's
we would
like
get an area count, so the average square footage was about 15 square feet per.
Well, we did get, count of stumps, as I just said, it was, 14 on lot 90, lot 100 and 24 on lot 96.
I'm just thinking since like it's
Now we
impossible.
have
to tell what's
41
area.
versus earlier we had 21, 27, and 29 and 32, so we have.
To me, it seems like it's pretty hard to tell what was dead, what was existing. I mean, things have been driven over, spread out on, like,
Well, not on the
who
slope,
knows what it was, can I just talk for a second?
sorry.
Who knows what, I have students talk over me all day. Who knows what was pre-existently dead, X, Y, and Z, like, I think just taking a square footage of what was cut and then dividing that by your recommendation of like the 15 feet on center or whatever would make the most sense, instead of like hearsay of like, oh, that was dead and this is dead and
Right.
X, Y, and Z, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to insult your knowledge and stuff like that, but.
I did, however, though, as I said, I think I got 96 and 100 messed up because lot 96 is a small lot. I mean, a big old lot, but there's, I think, well, maybe I'm wrong, maybe that is right. But I had 20,254 originally from 96. And that's in the 50 to 100. I guess that's possible, but I'm looking at number 100 and I said, now that looks like on this upper part, to be a bigger area. Anyway, either way, one has 20,054 in the 50 to 100, and the other one's 10,912 in the 50 to 100. The other two zones for both those lots are 6,000 and 3,000. So those aren't too bad, and we're doing that by simply measuring line up, line across from property line to property line. And then it is now staked. The 50-foot and the 100-foot is staked. With it just got to be average. I was there alone, so I have stakes anywhere from 32 to 40 feet all the way across there. They're not on the plan because I did the staking after Bruce was already had the information, but it's staked there. So when a landscape goes out there, I'm going to be there, and he's going to say, okay. But also, if you want to look and say, how'd you get your square footage? We'll run a tape, do a calculation, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get those numbers. These numbers were generated by Bruce, taking my beginning point at 96 and end point at 100. I didn't include 104 till after the fact, but 96 and 100 have the line staked anywhere from 32 to 40 feet on the 50 and the 100-foot. So it's pretty dead center. You take that total length, take this total length.
Right, but are you saying that these numbers on the drawing don't represent the actual square footage that did, or are you saying it is representative?
I think it is. I'm saying to myself, 20,000 square feet is a half acre.
No, I'm just
Right, no.
straight answer. I'm just looking, I don't need the explanation.
Yeah. No,
With all due respect, I just want to know.
Bruce took my numbers physically measured,
Mhm.
put it, those numbers on the plan, then did point, and gave me the number, square footage. I could have done the same thing, but I wasn't in the field anymore. And it was a tough day. It was pretty windy out there. So,
Yeah, so I guess just in terms of, so just to clarify, like the square footage for how much, like,
Mhm.
we just to kind of get all this together. So we have area of disturbance for 96 Lake Street. Between 50 and 100 is the 20,254, and between the 25 and the 50 is the 6,238. So putting that together and then dividing that by
15.
42.
Oh, 42, yeah.
Because that's the number
Yeah.
of trees you're proposing. Looks like it's about 630 square feet. So there's gonna be one tree
No.
every 630 square.
Well, the representations are on here now, separate from the square footage. That was something I decided to throw in with the count. Bruce put these at 15 or less square footage, these trees
That
covered.
disturbance looks like it's for 96 specifically included that area that did not have
Trees.
on
Yeah,
it.
that
Okay.
looks like
so-
it includes.
So
that.
in the count, you include for the
Yeah,
area that
actually,
was disturbed.
he's
you
right, the
included?
swale,
Because
when I did my.
Because you just did 1 point on 96 to the property line of 100.
Well, I did them, like when I was doing stakes to set the 50 and 100. I was doing this first, and then I went across, and I said, whoa, from the bottom, they're 50, if I'm on the bottom, putting a stake at the 25, it would have been every 50, because I was down there. When I'm on top later, I'm doing those on top, irregardless of how I drew my lines up. And I drove a stake in, so there's not 50 feet between them.
I guess the question for me then is that area that say didn't have trees on it and isn't getting planted, that area is still disturbed.
No. It's,
Right, so yeah, I guess that's the point of like, if
Right.
we have the disturbed area and we're trying to get the plant count from that, how do
Right.
we?
he's right, I probably, when I had Bruce there, he went from here to there, the end of where the tree line is on 96 to the end of the property line on 100, and he included all that. Well, this area was not included when he put the planting on there. So,
I remember seeing it in, when was it, September, October, November, and I mean, it looked like absolute clear cut.
Well, he did, but there is a section.
but there's a swale,
That
that glacial
wasn't-
swale.
that was
never
already
had it
clear.
Covered by what was
Yeah, I
there.
think it was probably covered. You couldn't, you
It's not
can
even-
now, because there's not any
Yeah,
stumps.
it's-
Right.
I'm just reliving
But-
my.
Yeah, I
visual
mean,
and-
it's where somebody was always taking a canoe down there.
All.
But if you look at the rest of the site that was ground, And even though the very tail end of 96 was not ground,
Yeah.
you can see all the stumps.
That's a
You
really.
can see the ground is totally different.
Yeah, that's.
Where you have pine needles in that soil now, on both sides of that forest that was there,
But it is.
they're not disturbed. You have to move them, you can see where they're broken down. You have a OA or an OEI layers in there, which is decomposed A layer material.
Anna? Are you able to look at these drawings and satisfy yourself that you can separate the disturbed from the new?
I mean, personally, no.
That's my
Because
conclusion as well.
I can't.
Okay.
So I see, and, you know, I see like the whole area vegetated through 2021, and then, in 2023, there's a boat ramp. And some clearing around the boat ramp, and that boat ramp is right here in this clearing area. And I don't think we got a permit for that ramp, and,
Let's just vegetate all the way up to the 100.
Yeah, I don't know if it's
If you go
there
back
right
to
now.
the
it might
other
be.
It's vegetated.
There's no
right across
definitive
that
way to
area.
determine if the trees were dead beforehand, if there's too much back and
I
forth,
mean, I
there's too
can
much
see on there,
disturbance on
that's
site.
pretty alive.
On that,
There's too much here back and forth without concrete proof. I think we should just do what we know is concrete, and that's take square footage of the area up to the 100 foot, divide it, put a concrete number of plants in. You know, restore that buffer.
I think the
agree with
question is,
Nicole.
are we including the square footage of the area that is inconclusively, if it was forested or not previously? I think that's where the concern is, because that's a big difference between just for 96, 100 and 104
Yeah, but
could not be included in this because
It looks pretty
it's
conclusive.
pretty simple.
If you wanna put something together for, like, just because I would have to write an enforcement order that dictates this is exactly what we're seeing and this is why we need to do that. I have it written up for the section that we have recently, but if you want to include additional stuff, that would have to go in there, and I would need to have all that.
well, that boat ramp
information
area,
on there.
for lack of a better descriptive, where they go down, wouldn't that have been included in your original description? Can you visualize what I'm referring to?
Yeah, I'm not sure what, because I was just seeing like the glacial, that little like glacial section.
Well, that's what we were calling it when we were
Right,
there,
'cause it did
but
look
if you
like
look,
it.
it's fully vegetated back 4 years ago. So it literally could have just a
I
root.
mean, is the reservoir a kettle pond?
No, I don't think so. It's fed. I don't think.
I think it's French Street Betty.
Yeah. I don't
What's the
think.
topography? How it's
Right,
Yeah, well, but you know what? But then that's only like half the pond.
right.
So the pond goes under the road.
Underneath, yeah.
In that area, Lake Street, I call it a moraine. It's a
terminal,
particular kind
It
of,
looks like one.
terminal marine?
yeah. So, you know,
So this is the.
if there wasn't Jenks Pond there, it would be, well, if it was forest, it would be a lot
And I
different.
think that's why
Right.
there's so much sand
Instead
and.
of go even
Yeah.
further back.
Round boulders.
Right.
I like
Gouge.
Yeah.
Vegetate somewhere under.
Yeah, I think it's tough.
Glacial
because
geology.
We're
I'm sure there's some canopy problems there, but.
We're all terminal marine.
That's really good.
I could not get to the cartography lab or any other place, even Mass was useless, to get leaves off October, so I can say, I can count those
I didn't
trees.
take any of them.
Because some of the photographs are so good,
Well,
if
but the
you
dock is.
you can see a person walking the yard.
It's unpermitted.
So but that's what I was saying, if we're adding that to this, that's just something, all, like, the
Did you see
notice
one?
of violation I sent out, all that other stuff had pertained entirely to the recent cutting, so if you would like more restoration for that, if you're noticing that, that's something that we would need to document and send.
I mean, I feel like the recent cutting also included that, but if we want to include it to be more sure that it is just a good thing. Like up through 2025, it was vegetated. No big.
Well, you were showing me that there was clearing between 2023 and 2025, right?
Yeah, but it was like a little clearing to install that.
Right.
So I don't know if it was that whole section that they're proposing is not being restored.
I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but when I saw that one small section, I mean, maybe that front
Did you
portion
see
next to the dock,
in the water?
I wasn't looking
I
at
didn't
that, to be
notice. Well,
frank.
did you?
About.
I wasn't.
I noticed the
Yeah.
boat, but
I
did
noticed
you
the
notice
dock,
a
yeah.
dock?
Yeah.
I didn't see a dock. I thought the boat is sitting on the side there.
I think there's definitely a dock.
There is
There's
a
like
dock,
peak
okay, fine.
down there, yeah.
That, to be honest, that wasn't anything that I was looking at, but so if, but that little section leading into it. I mean, I personally, it did look like that section wasn't vegetated, maybe when they installed the dock,
I don't think
they
it was.
cut the stuff in
yeah,
there, but
it might
just
have
like
been that.
on the.
It's just gravelly.
Yeah,
it's
in
like
4 years,
obviously
if you
got
had a stump there, you
little-
cut out.
Could be from when they did
depression.
construction, something kind of formed, I don't know.
Right. Erosion.
I feel like it was, I honestly do feel like it's probably just
The canopy
Under-
may have been covering it.
that's my.
It could be a
thought, 'cause
rock
but
under there and
his
a post on top of it. who knows?
stumps to each side of
Yeah.
it, and that one, there's not like a bunch of stumps, there's no like turned up.
Yeah,
I
and
feel
there's
like
there's
maybe
no
that's
disturbed
why-
door, yeah.
You have to go check it out, I would say, if we don't have pictures. What was that? This is street view. Looks
So it's not the canopy hiding it.
Well, that's what I think, the canopy
I
may
think
have
the
been
canopy is
covering.
but just leaves off would be a perfect if you could get it.
Definitely can't see that area from that room.
And I tried it from Google Earth and I couldn't really see it
You
either.
can't really see the area from.
Oh, no, of course.
Yeah, that thing on us, I can't see.
No, I took it off, didn't I?
Past the house.
No, like a U-turn.
Oh,
that's
I
the-
didn't, I didn't, I meant to.
Like,
There we go.
down through
No,
here.
this was, no, I know, that was from work. Backwards.
Trying.
Like it's all pine trees.
So that's
I
nice.
think we're thinking of two different sized areas. It was like probably this wide, like not a wide area. And then there were probably trees on either side. So I'm not talking about, it's definitely not as big as is shown in here. And I don't think that's, I don't know if that's where it is. Yeah.
It's probably like a little footpath that like created over time, and then they're like, well, it's the easiest.
It doesn't really look like it's a footpath, to be honest. I wish I had photos. I really don't think that, but it's much smaller than that. It's not like, it just looks like it's
We're not planning on acting.
more trees, yes,
We're not
most likely.
Planning on acting on this now, right?
I don't think
And I
that's,
can't, seems like the two open questions, so
yeah.
would you have time, either by the end of this week or next week to get out and take?
Yeah,
photos?
but see, yeah.
I
it's
think-
like
I
That's
there,
fine.
there, or there.
Because I think that would answer
Yeah,
a lot of my questions.
that was my bad.
And we have another meeting before the end of the month, right? So.
Hannah, in addition to photos, could you take a running video from the south edge of 96 all the way across to the north end of 100 or whatever it is, 104?
And yes, you have to run.
Not
Fast as you.
Flat out, no job.
just a continuous hike through.
Yeah, yeah. And you'll see the stakes, they don't go into 104 because
Then we can bring popcorn and
Watch it.
So that, how it got put on the plan, like, was this just you estimated it and then he put it on the plan?
no, I had him take the lot lines, he can, with the
Right,
CAD.
not the lot line.
No, what I'm saying is, if you fill in that area, he can give you an area without anybody ever measuring it. He did that. when I gave him all the measurements.
Cut though, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean,
This is an old.
number 100, there's nothing there but stumps on the bottom. Except the first
This is.
25 feet, there are trees on the river, a flat spot, a few more nice trees.
Yeah.
They're actually
The streets.
just barely trees because they're 5 or 6 inches.
So I think what we'd like to see on this plan is the original area of disturbance.
Okay,
Maybe call that out in like a grayer color,
okay, yeah.
then maybe put this square footage.
Okay.
do you have that information? And can you do that?
I think it can be done. I'll have to ask Bruce, but as far as me, I'll go check some of my measurements just to make sure I said,
And I mean.
some of it looks big.
Talk about, like, if you sketch something out before making Bruce go do it, we can do that,
Right.
so he
Okay.
doesn't have to.
Yeah, I
keep
can do that.
making edits to the plan before it's
Okay.
like finalized.
So I'll do the original area of disturbance, right?
And then overlay the plantings on top of it.
Overlay
The
plantings.
modifications we've talked about.
Okay.
Now, Hannah, you were reading some values. Is that a different sheet?
That's the,
Yeah, it's a little He did, that did. Sorry about
You
that.
didn't give me one of that.
Oh, well, I only had three, whatever. I should have printed more, but.
Well, you probably confirm with
I
yourself
take that back, you did.
too, just because it seemed like you didn't know for sure which you were thinking. You were.
Yeah, one I'm a little concerned of now, but if you look at the area that's on
I
96.
was gonna say, sir, and I'm, not being flip,
Right.
your
It's more for.
description of it was lacked some consistency. If you could sort that out, so
Fine,
it's clear.
yeah, I can do that.
If you're having trouble in remembering, we're not gonna understand it.
Right, correct. Yeah, I'll have to verify that in the field and then Bruce draw it up there, but I don't know, I guess if I look at 96 now, I'm saying that area near the 100 and that area over past the house, minus the swale, I have a feeling we include the swale. That's how I got to 20,000, because
It's a good feeling.
these are not the first plans I've ever reviewed, and I'm saying 1 inch is 40 feet, and I'm looking, I'm saying, that can't be a half acre there. With the swale, it definitely is. So it is correct on my thing. Number 96 has 50, 100, 20,000, 254, including the swale. And that swale is not a 5-foot path. It's definitely glacial. It's not erosion. I am a soil scientist, so it's not erosion. And I'm thinking the backside of number 96 has ledge in there, something, even though it's not conducive to the soil maps. It's gotta have something big, because the glacier came through, carved out Jenks Pond, and then, it came down the hill, made that pond. All the sands and gravels got deposited on the side or upstream, downstream, I guess if you want to call it. I think that eventually ends up in Peters River, am I
I
right?
mean, if we want to be technical, Jenks Farms Reservoir, like Jenks.
Correct. So he dug it out there.
There was some water at some
Okay.
point.
Well, maybe he made that swale.
Did you have a permit?
We actually have a lot of old documents from, because Concom owns it, we have a lot of old documents about the like dredging and stuff,
Ooh,
which is interesting.
Good time, right?
I'm sure he used the buckets with the tables.
Bathymetry stuff. and,
Steam
like,
powered.
Yeah.
Still do when they dredge.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not deep.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
So.
I have more comments about the tree planting detail. I noticed that you did change it. You did list a lot of things, but there's a couple other things that. I can show you what I marked up if you want. You can take a picture of it.
Sure.
Okay, so
There's quite a few things we're looking for.
I need to move on. Do we have to do?
At the original layer disturbance and overlay of plantings on top to fit an overlay. You'll try to do gray or something different. Okay.
Any comments online?
Nope.
Yep.
Okay, how am I doing? Give me a vote.
Yeah,
You're great. A++.
You're not barking up the wrong tree there. That's good.
There you go.
Too bad Bugs Bunny wasn't there. You could have asked him, what's up,
Alright.
Doc? With a
I think
dog.
we're good.
We're good.
I'll take a picture of what she's got.
I'm very picky about my planting.
That's fine.
And if you have no other questions or comments, we probably move on to the next other business. items.
Start from 40 Main Street.
40 Payne Street, certificate of compliance.
Yes, so this was, they did a septic system and they got the as-built and the certificate of compliance from Board of Health, but they didn't realize they also needed to come to Concom. So we've been working through a lot of the, old COCs. If the order of conditions is about to expire, has expired, and nobody's followed up, we're trying to like work our way through those. So this was one that we sent them a notice that, hey, could you follow up on this? And then they did, so.
They have to.
The only thing that's left is special condition 11, which is, let's see, what was that?
Special condition 11.
As a, just as an ongoing condition.
But yeah, this is the most where we don't disturb underneath.
Different size and weight. And
What size trees again?
well, I'm gonna still wanna try to go back to
Well,
what used to be.
I don't have this,
$13.
but
Yeah.
you're gonna have to take my word for it. There's a special condition 11 that is for,
And the next
there
one
was
is the
some
elk
like
trees. the biggest they have.
flood storage
4 inch and a
compensation.
half. And those are 300 pounds.
So
They're 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
And
it's just maintaining
No-
that area as flood storage compensation. It's just an area of lawn that they're not allowed to fill. So that's the ongoing special condition, but that's it. It's a pretty.
Yep. And I've always had success with that. I never had a problem with.
Oh, well, this is,
Let me just start.
it's transmitted to
I don't-
people taking minutes.
But this way here. Picture's worth 1,000 words. Me, I probably give you the 1,000 words. I'll give you the picture too, whatever.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
Just proceed.
Oh, yes, thank you. That's a good point, James. Yeah, so just to reiterate, the COC is for 40 Payne Street.
Right.
We haven't
Good
had
night.
anything from the Board of Health files. There's one ongoing special condition to maintain this one small area of lawn as flood storage compensation for when they redid the septic system. So that was, and everything was, it's been done for a while, erosion controls are out, everything's stabilized. They got the certificate of compliance from Board of Health as well. So this would be.
Issue is certificate of compliance with those conditions.
Second.
Any discussion?
Nope.
Steve,
No, aye.
James?
Aye.
Don,
Hi.
Nicole,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Pam?
I.
And Ariana, aye.
All right.
Good.
Bruce, the next.
I mean, we don't have to do too much. I just put Earth Day. That's
Birthday's coming up.
coming up this weekend. I'm gonna do some tabling about just upcoming Charles Headwater Greenway stuff. Which we actually just had our kickoff meeting for the people that are gonna be doing the feasibility study at Bowman. We just had our first kickoff meeting for that. Yeah.
Were we able to give that young man any tree marker input?
So I did get two different ones, so I let him know that he could probably go with either, but either doing the blazing or using some small, like reflective little arrows,
But
essentially.
the standards are the same in terms of like where to put them, one on each side of the tree, so.
Is this the Silver Lake?
Yeah. This
Uh,
was,
before
I
it's
just
done.
sent an email about it, the Boy Scout that. had
Yeah,
done
that
it.
was
Yeah,
Silver
Silver
Lake
Lake
Island,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I had sent an email about, so I was like, we talked about a couple different things at the meeting that would be acceptable. Do you guys have any examples? So.
I missed a lot of emails the past few weeks.
Yeah, oh yeah, I forgot, that's, yeah, got your new one coming,
Yeah.
so, thank you. But yes, so. Gonna be doing some of that, trying to get some volunteer signups for our, I have like a list of people that want updates on stuff, so I'll send out email blasts every once in a while. But, so we'll be.
So
we'll be
9
on the
AM, and where
11th.
is it? Was your
We're
team?
meeting at Town Hall.
Oh, here.
The tabling isn't gonna start until like probably 11, so people are gonna do cleanup for,
Good.
it's
Yep, I'll be
9 to 12 is like the whole thing.
Where?
The town-wide cleanup. That's the Board of Health, it's Board of Health's like initiative, so it's like along streets in town.
Oh, I've done it
But-
before, and what they had us do is you come in, they give you gloves and a hat and
Yep.
bags and then they kind of point you to where to go, and you just, it's fun, you walk up.
That's
and
what
down
all the
street
water's
like
in here
that.
for,
Yeah.
to give out water.
I would come, but I have to give a lecture on why trees matter to the Andover Public Library.
I'm Earth Day.
It is, it's about climate change and,
What about
benefits of
standing dead,
trees, you know?
nobody
It's almost-
appreciates the value.
Wildlife. Huh?
It's almost sad that you have to explain to people why trees matter.
I know, it's literally called Why Trees Matter.
Why Endo? What's all?
They reached out to me and were like, can you come speak to our public? And I was like, you gonna pay me? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, all right.
I'll be there.
I'll say whatever you want.
Yeah, I'll, $800 to talk for 2 hours
Nice.
about trees, twist my arm.
In the library, you'd think that they figured it out by looking at the paper and the books, but some people don't know that books are made out of trees.
Yeah, dead trees all around me as I'm speaking.
I didn't use that one.
The irony, you should, that'd be pretty funny.
But
You
yeah.
got it covered. I'm sure it'll be fine.
All these things really.
Mike, send me a list of dad jokes, please.
Open space.
Okay.
Yeah, so
we're
that's
very
just gonna
similar.
be at the Earth Day cleanup. I'm just gonna have outreach material about all of that stuff at the table, which who knows if anybody will actually come talk to me about it. But I was like, this is a good way to, you know, if there's people here that care about Earth stuff, might be a good way to at least get some emails for future cleanups. Yeah.
Next part, exciting. We have Lake and Jen tomorrow.
I mean, we kind of skip over that if you want, but I just was bringing it up because I do want to keep on top of it. And while we were at the enforcement order thing, you know, they are on Jenks Reservoir.
Yep.
96 they were the ones that were looking to potentially do additional treatment at the lake. So it's just something that I'm trying to keep in the.
Well, I have finished the PowerPoint about it if you want it.
Well, we have a budget too, that, right, to support some of the.
Yeah, and it's typically based on, like, it's tough with the budgeting because it's based on like the previous year's budget, so we just kind of forward that. And we have talked about potentially looking at different vendors and outreach, so we had a couple people who were on those calls with me, I think Pam and Don, did you go to one?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I think Don was
I
there.
think I
Did you
did.
go to one too? No. Oh, okay. So that was, we, you know, had some conversations with
Yeah.
different people because we need the new NOIs, but.
So the way I see it personally is like, we need a feasibility study done, like. Whether we can keep doing what we're doing or whether we need to try something.
Yeah, maybe we hedge this for another. Yeah, just because that's I feel like.
Stand it up for 16 hours.
Like a May conversation, this next hearing's already gonna be.
Yeah, I think you're. But if there's, in the meantime, if you want to like put together information, I know we've talked about smaller groups looking into certain treatment plans and stuff like that. If you would like to, you know, dig a little bit deeper into some of that for the upcoming meetings, that would be good.
That's what I was doing, and then I was like, there's a lot of different methods. I don't know how to do this.
Yeah.
Like, it would be nice to have a consultant do this for me.
Yeah, money. That's and there's not a lot of grants for doing this stuff. There's mostly grants for.
I asked about that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so we don't really have a ton of money for that.
I was like, what kind of funding is there for like lake cleanup? And they were like, none.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Silver Lake rents out to the YMCA.
Yep,
So-
we do have some funding with
Yeah,
that,
so we
but
probably
there's a
need-
whole, I don't know how that fund works.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that if we don't do something, it doesn't impact their ability to like
Yeah.
conduct
This
activities.
year, there's no issue for this year, we're all set for that, it's the
It's gonna be
next
next
year,
year.
yeah, so that's why we're trying to do it early to,
Yep.
so we
get ahead
don't
of it.
have issues next year.
And then the other thing, like, just one last thing about it. The reason that the feasibility study was also on my mind was because of that new lake management plan that they.
But it was, I mean, we went to that conference and it sounds like they're like, I don't know if they're ever gonna implement this, which is interesting also.
I thought it
I mean,
sounded
we
like
probably
they just
should
need
need
to
it,
go
but.
deep.
Right,
That's
which I don't know if that, it sounded like they were like, yeah, we've been trying to see if this will work for. That was what I took away from it, so maybe we took away different things, it sounded to me like they were like, oh yeah, we've been trying to do this for a long time, I don't know if anyone's ever gonna fully agree on this.
I got like we're almost done, guys, we're almost at home run.
Oh, okay, alright, so.
But one of us is right.
Maybe, yeah.
Mike, you sleeping?
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
You're muted, Mike.
I just wake you up, I'm sorry.
No. To combine the two comments that Ariane and Hannah just said, it could be that they have just about wrapped it up because they've decided that it's not going to proceed anywhere and they're just going to give up on it. But we'll see, I guess.
Possible.
Could be.
Anyway, next.
Right.
Alright, already did enforcement orders, so 43 Easy Street, notice of violation and discussion of site visit.
We can push that off too, Dawn and I were out there.
Okay, never mind, March 11th, 2026 minutes, did everyone have a chance to review? I know I did.
Yeah,
I did, they look good.
no issues.
Then I will entertain a motion to, oh, wait, I'll wait till the
Sorry,
next.
yeah, just one thing. And I don't think Steve can participate in the minutes because he wasn't there.
Oh, so maybe I should do them separately? 'Cause he
Probably.
was-
Yeah, but
we
I've
have
read
two
them.
sets of minutes, right?
Right, but you can't confirm that they're accurate because you didn't think they're there.
Well, I checked for spelling.
You can confirm. there's no spelling mistake.
Yeah. We got Mike for that. You don't, you don't have to do that. We got Mike.
Steve, were you at either the 311 or the
No.
320?
I only remember that because I sent him, but I just gave him his Mullins rule stuff for that.
Okay, then I will do both of them and I'll just recuse yourself. So 3/25/2026 minutes? Everyone have
Fine.
time to review?
Yeah.
Definitely did. Any comments? Anything?
No.
Good me.
Okay, then I'll entertain a motion to approve both the March 11th, 2026 and March 25th, 2026 meeting minutes.
Seconded.
Okay.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Damn, on a quick draw.
no.
Yep.
Mike,
Aye.
Pam,
Aye.
Nicole,
Aye.
Don.
I,
James, I
Hughes.
abstain.
And Ariane, aye. Yeah.
wait a minute, I saw Steve nod, but I don't know if I heard.
He's
That's what I'm
abstaining.
Okay. Oh, that's right. It's
And
gonna
then
abstain.
Yes.
So we can,
I'm not used to
yeah,
that.
we can also skip that.
Negative determinant.
I mean,
I did look at it.
oh, you did? Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if people got a chance to look at the plan that they presented. Yeah, just to see if there was any, because they did make some updates to the planting plan, but the plan we approved for the order of conditions, I was like,
I
in
could,
the enforcement order, I said, we still need to approve the planting plan because we didn't really get a
Which
good
one is
answer.
this? Jim?
right,
Last.
77 Bruce.
77 Bruce.
And did you look, well, you must have looked at it. I looked at it here. And I'm like, I don't remember what it was originally.
Yeah, so I think they changed, it was mostly in response to some of, I think Nicole's comments about moving some of the trees a little bit further away
Mix,
and
I think,
changing,
right?
yeah,
More
making,
mix
having
Of the vegetation.
more vegetation mix. And I think I don't think it's blueberry
Yeah,
anymore.
they put Virginia sweet spire in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So-
blueberries. Yeah.
So it's a mix.
The issue for this was just providing the planting plan.
Yes, essentially, we were more focused on getting the order of conditions for the septic versus approving, yes, this is the correct planting plan.
Oh,
So
I
if you want to make any updates to the planting plan, we would just do that for the.
I remember this now because we were talking about whether or not we were essentially approving a different amount of disturbance based off what we were
Yes.
allowing with the order of conditions versus.
In terms of the planting plan, it looks pretty good to me, like the white oaks, a bit larger trees are a little farther down, and then they have a good mix of the sweet spire and the blueberry closer to the house. They won't have any problems with the limbs hanging over the house or the septic or anything eventually.
Mhm.
It looks good to me, in my opinion. Anyone else think?
I thought it looked fine.
I guess I don't know why they didn't expand into the 100-foot buffer for that. Oh, never mind. It's IBW.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
60 Moni Drive.
So what do we do with this? Do we make a motion? Or
Yeah, I would have a motion and a vote just to accept the planting plan as detailed there.
Did we already issue the enforcement order?
Yes, but the enforcement order had in it subject to, the planting plan is subject to final approval.
I couldn't remember if we held off until we got it.
It looks good to me. I would approve it as is. That's my
I second that
Yeah.
motion that you made.
Yes, I made a motion.
you're so emotional.
Did Pam third it?
She did.
I think I just said, yeah, I don't know if that counts as a third.
Well, any discussion? Okay.
Oh, the one thing I would say is, if you would also include revising the enforcement order, to
Oh,
include
yeah.
the, how long the
How much time they have to get
monitoring
it done?
should go,
Yeah, for
because
monitoring.
3
years, right?
I left that out, so.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll restart. I will entertain a motion to approve the planting plan for 77 Bruce Road submitted by the applicant and revise the enforcement order to include 3 years of monitoring.
So moved.
Seconded.
Discussion. Nope. Steve.
Aye.
James.
Aye.
Nicole.
Aye.
Don.
Aye.
Pam.
Aye.
Mike.
I,
And Ariane, aye. Unanimous vote. And then we done?
Well, I had just one
Oh, yeah.
comment or question over. Just when we did the tour of the property at 43 Easy Street. I think they asked when they would come here, and I
Yes.
think we told them in 2 weeks.
Yes,
So.
I'll put
should
it
we
on
be-
the schedule.
Yeah, you want to put it on the schedule, so were formally, and you'll have some of the images
Yeah,
available.
I'll put that all together in a Word doc.
Yeah,
and
'cause
I'll
I
put
don't
it
want
on
them
the
to show up and then
Yeah.
we don't get to it.
Yeah.
You know,
Or
Yeah,
bring
I'll
two
try
cups
to
of
put,
coffee for the
I'll
time.
honestly I'll put it in the, instead of putting it as other business, I'll like put it.
yeah,
in
somewhere
there. I'll
in
just
that.
Put it as like in the hearing spot, because I don't want them to have to wait through.
Yeah, I think the following 2 weeks they weren't available, so.
You want to?
Yeah, I don't think the same person needs to be first every time.
Yeah, I really don't.
That was, honestly, that was more so, it's more for if we're thinking that there's gonna be a crowd, is usually why I do that. Like, if there's gonna be public involvement, I don't wanna make them wait through like 6 different people. But it has dwindled, so definitely could mix it up.
I wonder if it's because they're like, okay.
I think they're exhausted.
Yeah, I think I'll.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to close the meeting and adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
I think we should still hang around.
what,
Well,
what type of music,
Mike,
what type of music should you listen to when you're fishing?
I wasn't an I or.
Rock
Couldn't
and
listen to
roll.
any because.
Anything catchy. All right,
Thank
Aye.
you. Pam,
Aye.
Looking at his book right now.
Nicole,
Aye.
Don,
Aye,
Steve,
Aye.
James, and Ariane, aye.
as an I.